What up, y'all? Welcome to Chip and Zay here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. I am Zay Collier, live from Cincinnati, Ohio. Boys taking a little vacay with wifey, seeing my sister-in-law, her sister, the kids, the family. So, yeah, nice little getaway with this bye week coming up, and yeah, gonna enjoy Ohio for a few days. Know nothing about Ohio besides Guardians, Bengals, Browns, Cavs, Ohio State. Like, if it ain't sports, Ohio, I don't really know much. But hey, if y'all can fill me in all those some, appreciate that. Subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X. You know how it goes, man. Get the app if you haven't got it already. Tech Sports Unfiltered. Look us up where you get your podcasts and stuff. I don't know where my man Chip Brown is. Hopefully he'll be joining us shortly, but we know Chip, he be on that CP time and he be bull stuffing. So it's all good. He'll jump on when he jumps on. But yeah, a lot of hate watching this weekend. There he goes in the green room, live in Austin, Texas. Chip Brown.
Hey, in the immortal words of Jody Brown, happiness is a choice. We're happy you spent some time with us. Looks like Zay is in the dungeon. How you doing there in the dungeon, my man Zay?
I'm good, man. I'm down here at the basement at my sister-in-law's crib. It's different.
You're in Cincinnati?
I am Cincinnati, yep.
Yeah, they have basements there.
Yeah, I see. It's nice. It's different. Very Midwestern, you know. So I appreciate it. See, Gringo Horn isn't Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's Cleveland, right? That ain't Cincinnati.
That's Cleveland.
Yeah, it's Cleveland. Cincinnati has something, though. They got their own Hall of Fame for something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, man, the Bengals aren't playing here this weekend.
They are?
They aren't.
Oh.
No. So, yeah, I'm sure these folks in Cincinnati aren't digging what the Bengals got going on right now with Joe Burrow and turf toe, man. I mean, that's what happens when you pay all your money to skill players and not in the trenches. So they can't protect Joe Burrow, Chip.
That city has been brought to its knees by turf toe.
It's brutal.
What are they going to do in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow nursing turf toe?
3 months, man. That's a long time. And I got T. Higgins on my fantasy team too, which I don't expect Browning to get him the ball when he's supposed to get it. So
come on, man.
No, man.
Ye of little faith.
Hell no. They need to go after Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston. Hell, even now, Russell Wilson. I go after Russell.
Russ? You were just ripping Russ.
I mean, it's better than Jake Browning. Is it not? I'll take Russ over Jake Browning.
I mean, come on, man. Let Jake Browning live. Give him a week.
Give him a week? Okay, that's fair.
Give him a week.
That Minnesota game was sad, man. That Minnesota game was sad. And Minnesota, it's not like they had their starter. They were playing Carson Wentz. And they beat the crap out of them. Like, that was one of the more...
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, come on.
Is that guy still in the league? Yes, he is.
Yeah. I think he's the only player in NFL history to be on 5 different teams in 5 different seasons and start a game in each one of those seasons. It's pretty impressive.
That's a good piece of trivia right there.
That's pretty impressive. I can't even lie.
That's pretty impressive.
That's
pretty impressive. We got a loaded show today. Of course, our man Lance Taylor, our SEC insider and prognosticator, will join us at 2:30. And then Drew Fabianich, the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl, will join us to talk some college football. Drew used to be the national scout for the Dallas Cowboys, so he can probably tackle a Cowboys question or two, but his focus now is on identifying those draft eligible players to invite to the Senior Bowls, eh?
Yeah, it's a big deal. You know, a lot of guys that might be under the radar but have NFL aspirations. You get invited to the Senior Bowl, you have a good week, and you boost your stock tremendously. So, yeah, appreciate all the Senior Bowls and, you know, at end of the season bowl games that you have for all these guys that want to keep their football dreams alive. So,
Yeah, just don't mention the East-West Shrine game to Drew, because oh yeah, they're rivals,
Rivals, yeah.
You want to get each of those games wants to get marquee guys into the game. I'm kind of half kidding, but
which is the one my man Jaden Blue just didn't let nobody know.
The East-West Shrine.
Yeah.
They had a jersey hanging in his locker. And then his mom called the day before reporting and said, yeah, he's not going to make it. They're like, huh? Can we talk to Jaden? No. We got a jersey. We got a jersey for him. He took a spot from someone else.
Damn, man. Yeah, I need Jaden Blue on that football field for the Cowboys, man. Let's stop BSing.
Let's just get a look.
Let's just get a look. Like, what could it hurt? Like, you're out here losing to the Bears and stuff. Like, throw them out there. Like, you can't make your team worse.
I know. And here, my man Joe K, I'm like, Zay's up there in Ohio, my Tigers. This is the most uncomfortable thing going, because it has just been in slow motion. And they're openly saying how the pressure is getting to them. It's a mess.
Who's saying that? The players?
Yeah. They're like, I mean, they've been losing. They've lost like 15 to 16. They had to
say that. They didn't tell like the media or nothing.
I don't know.
We're feeling the pressure. We can't handle it. It's too much.
Scooble won the Cy Young Award, and he had a 2-0 lead the other day. Normally that's over and out, done with. And then it was just a comedy of errors. Guys are laying down bunts. Scooble's hiking the ball through his legs to first base. I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up. So I don't know what to say. I'm depressed. I was hoping they would clinch their first AL East, division title in a decade. But
since Prince Fielder?
Yeah. Like,
man,
this is awful. So I can't explain it. I don't know. I'm just moribund. I'm sure
too much going on in Detroit. Like, somebody has to be bad. Somebody has to let you down. You know what I'm saying?
The Red Wings have gone from Hockey Town to Nowheresville.
Exactly.
The Pistons have been terrible. Although they're on the rise. They're on the rise.
Cade Cunningham.
Good young nucleus.
Let's go.
They got some good length. They got some synergy. But the Tigers, man, when you got the best pitcher in baseball,
that don't mean nothing.
Damn.
He can't pitch every day.
No, he can't pitch every day. He cannot pitch every day. He's not rubber-armed Ruger Riojas, for God's sake. Ruger could throw every day, but not everyone can throw every day. Yeah. Don't forget, kids, Texas baseball is playing a fall ball game against Texas Tech Saturday at 1 at Dell Diamond in Round Rock. The tickets are available through the Round Rock Express. So don't go looking on TexasSports.com. They don't have the tickets there. You have to go to the Round Rock Express website. Go to my Twitter. I tweeted it out. If you want to use this off week for football to go check out all the newcomers like Carson Tinney, the Buster Posey Award finalist catcher, and all these pitchers. It's going to be a 12-inning game. You're going to get to see a ton of dudes, except Dylan Volantis, who's still getting over mono. But that's okay. We know what Dylan Volantis can do. It's time to see guys like Sam Cozart and Hayden LaFew.
Yeah.
Hayden LaFew from Wake Forest. He could be a starter this season.
I hope mono's not going around West Campus. We got football and volleyball going on right now.
Yeah, we don't need that.
We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Because guys aren't doing much this weekend, Chip. This is a bye week. I feel like Sark's going to allow these guys to, maybe go home, have a lot of free time on their hands, a lot of personal time. So we know what happens when things get personal. Where I'm from, you get mono from, hanging out with somebody else. And so I don't need us to be coming back and Jelani McDonald has mono now or something like that. Sorry, Jelani, you're the first player I named. Or first.
Don't even say that.
But I just hearing Dylan Volantis has it. I just hope it doesn't spread around the 40 acres. You dig?
Yeah, because it kind of zaps you.
Yeah, man.
You lose weight. You lose your appetite. You got to, it's not good for athletes because kind of knocks you out, gets you out of your strength and conditioning.
What football player had mono years ago? Was that David Ash? That wasn't David Ash.
Ooh, you're ahead of me on that.
That wasn't him. It was someone.
I don't know.
Chan, I'm sorry. Chan's telling me don't jinx it. My fault, Chan. You're right. I'm not trying to jinx anybody. People are already hitting you and I up. Well, me, I don't know if you've been hit with these messages, but someone hit me up, social media, slid my DMs talking about, damn, Zay, you and Chip, y'all cursed John Mateer. And I was like, whoa. Don't put that on Chip and me. We did say they can't be running him like that.
Yeah, we did say that.
We said that. That ain't no curse. That's just,
That's good, smart. That's good, smart thinking.
Thank you. Like, we saw how they were using John Mateer. He had the Superman cape on for 4 weeks.
He's running 19 times in a game.
I'm saying, the Michigan boys, I get it. Mason Graham and Will Johnson ain't over there, but they still got some pride. They
still got a little pop in their pads.
Yeah, man. Auburn has some pride. Like, we don't wish injury on nobody. Well, Chip does with that one Detroit player. That's
Marcus Davenport. I'm so sorry.
Chip couldn't wait for Marcus Davenport to be on IR. But besides that, we don't wish injury on nobody. I want John Mateer to come back. I hope.
Yeah.
13 days, like everybody's saying it is. 13 days. That means it would be that Wednesday or Thursday before Red River. And John Mateer, he'd be right out there getting ready, trying to light Texas up. That's what I want, because I don't want these Sooner fans, oh, y'all got our backup quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Last year wasn't y'all's backup quarterback. Y'all benched Jackson Arnold.
Yeah,
to
protect him.
To protect him.
Because that offensive line could have been arrested for like aiding and abetting assault. Those dudes were like, well, yes, here's our quarterback. Go hit him. Take him out. Yeah, that was rough.
That was rough.
That offensive line is still no good, by the way. So,
yeah. Joe K saying it's conspiracy theory. Mateer plays, watch. Venables being shady.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. It's all going to come down to what the Texas offense can do against the OU defense. That's what's going to decide that game. I think the Texas defense will contain Mateer, Hawkins, whoever.
Well,
but
Michael Hawkins Jr. is apparently Lamar Jackson and Ben Arbuckle's offense, so maybe they can't. Maybe they can't contain Michael Hawkins.
Who believes that?
Some OU fans do.
Okay, well, Michael Hawkins is still learning the Arbuckle offense. Let's see how that goes. Couple things. Okay, first and foremost, I won my quarterfinal doubles match today.
Hell yeah.
Big time win. Guys, we played. This was a finals quality match. Jay and Andrew, the guys we played, they are high-level players. My partner, Jesper, was fantastic. 3-set match. Went to the final rounds. And your boy scraped out a dub.
That's what I'm talking about.
With Jesper making some big shots there at the end. So
that's okay. Hey, man, sometimes, even LeBron gave the ball to Kyrie and let him do his thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
OLIPOP to Jesper.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Sounds like he carried you a little bit.
Yeah, he did at the end. Yeah, he came through. He was serving. We needed it. And he came through. Had like 3 big-time volleys in a row and then hit a winner right down the middle. Ball game.
Hell yeah. All right, I always have to ask you this after your matches. How's the knee?
It's the same. It just has this dull pain. It's the same. But hey, I'm figuring out how to play old man tennis, man.
There we go.
Positional tennis. I don't get quite as close to the net, so they can't lob it over me. I come in to about the service line, so I can go back if I have to, come in,
Yeah.
Serve was pretty good today, so that was a good match.
Now, who y'all play again? Because these guys, if I'm losing to you on a hurt knee, I don't know how I feel about that if I'm these guys.
No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're learning how to take away what teams want to do to us. So, I mean, these guys are good. Jay has been the doubles champ like 3 of the last 4 years.
Oh, man.
So, and Andrew has won it. So this was a tough draw. Now we got to keep our heads down, keep grinding, and keep working our way. We're in the semis. The defending champs are in the other half of the bracket. So we gotta get to the finals and we gotta take them down.
Hell yeah, I'm with that, man. You know me. Once I get back, you need me on my Connor Stallion stuff. I'm with it.
See, I'm just telling you. I'm gonna find this video. It's in my house somewhere.
Why? Why is it?
I'm gonna show you all the highlights. I was running like the wind.
Why is there a video?
It was on the news. We need to get Newey Scruggs on the show. Newey Scruggs ran highlights on his NBC Dallas-Fort Worth sportscast. This was a big deal.
Clearly.
Moose Johnston was the coach of the broadcast team, and we beat him. The print media with Chip Brown at quarterback, 4 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown rushing, and 2 interceptions on defense. Clarence Hill caught like a 60-yard catch and run touchdown. I was in the zone.
Oh, man. I
was named the MVP of the game. I have a picture with the Miller Lite girls. I think my ex-wife took that thing and burned it. But I'm not in that form, CB, the world's greatest volunteer producer in the history of radio. But thank you for bringing that up, because that puts a smile on my face every time I get a chance to talk about it.
23 years ago, man.
Because your boy's not just tennis. He can spin the pig. He was spinning the pig that day.
Spinning that pig.
We won that game 38-10.
Damn. What was Moose doing?
He was trying to emulate what we were doing. He's like, hey, they're moving the quarterback. You might want to move the quarterback. I thought I was bootlegging and waggling. Oh, my God. It was fantastic.
Oh, my gosh.
My man.
Who's coaching y'all?
Me.
Okay. Oh man.
I mean, we didn't really have a coach.
Man, there's no humbleness in your voice. Me, I was
Okay.
the coach. I did everything.
Well, Mickey Spagnola was our coach. And Mickey's a longtime columnist. He works for, you can read him at DallasCowboys.com with Nick Eatman, who caught a touchdown pass from me. Jacques Taylor. Oh yeah, it was hot. That was one of the great days.
Okay, so no offense to Mickey, but how'd y'all get stuck with him and the other team got Moose Johnson?
I don't know. I mean, when I saw Moose Johnston on the other sideline, I was like, oh wow, it's on. Yeah. So it was fun, man.
That man Moose, dog. Why wasn't Moose in the Cowboys documentary? Is there bad blood there? I feel like I know the big three should have been on, but Moose,
You know why?
2.5. What happened?
Because he's got that gig with Fox, right? He doesn't want to do anything to screw that up. Moose is a very pragmatic, fellow. Maybe they didn't ask him. Maybe they got Emmett, they got Troy, they got Irvin, they got the other guys. Maybe they didn't need Moose.
Yeah, that's weird. He deserves, especially that would make even more sense since he's a Fox guy because he's polished. Like,
oh, I agree. I love Moose.
I don't understand that. Something went wrong. Something happened.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here he is. Conjuring.
Something happened. I don't know.
Baby conjuring. Careful when Zay's conjuring.
It might have been with Jerry.
Here we go.
I don't know. But come on, man. Moose was a big part of those teams.
Oh, yeah. Moose was clearing the way.
Ask Emmett about Moose.
They were running ISO, and Moose was decking linebackers so Emmett could go get the NFL rushing title.
Exactly. Then they run that little play action, let Moose go out there on the flat, hit him. Moose taking
that neck roll.
Yeah, he had the neck roll.
Moose he could barely turn. He's like this.
Yeah, Moose was nice, man. They did him wrong on that documentary. He should have been on.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. Okay, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, did you read The Insider this morning?
Nope, I'll pull it up.
Okay, because I wrote about Michael Taaffe and how his, tight friendship with Arch is, Michael Taaffe's journey is so unique and so rare, honestly, to go from walk-on to All-American. And, here these two are best friends. Their stories could not be more opposite. I mean, they grew up very similar. Their parents are very successful. Peter Taaffe, very successful attorney, mediator, big time. Got a practice in Austin, a practice in Houston. Of course, Cooper Manning, big time businessman, entrepreneur, and grew up in competitive families. Michael Taaffe, the youngest of 4, his oldest brother Philip was the backup quarterback at Westlake, backed up Sam Ehlinger, and then his second oldest brother, Robert, is 4 years older than Michael, and those two fought like dogs.
Really?
Like, Robert told me that he was also kind of diminutive. Like, he hit his growth spurt late, so he was like Michael, not the tallest of gents, but quick like Michael, receiver, and those two just fought. So Peter Taaffe gives Robert some of the credit for Michael's competitive fire apparently they got in a fight on Christmas Day in the middle of the neighborhood, and like neighbors came out of their house. Peter Taaffe had to run out, break them up.
Yo, in Westlake, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, man.
Like, so Mookie, and his father nicknamed him Mookie because there were a lot of Michaels at that time. And so guys who are named Michael sometimes get nicknamed Mookie, and he nicknamed him Mookie to, keep from, make him special, differentiate him. So Mookie had just won the defensive MVP for the 2019 state championship over Galena Park North Shore. And, Michael Taaffe had 2 incredible state championship games. He was the MVP, defensive MVP of both. And so his brother Robert comes back from Ole Miss because he's a junior at Ole Miss. Mookie's a junior at Westlake. And Robert goes, "There's no way you can cover me." And so Mookie's like, "Let's go outside right now. Philip, you're the quarterback." And Mookie pressed Robert, and they just started fighting right then and there. And so, some good stuff in there. Head over to horns247.com. Check out the insider. Michael Taaffe's a special guy, man. I mean, we know the odds are against walking on at a place like Texas and becoming an All-American at a place like Texas. Right now, Michael Taaffe is the #1 rated defender for Texas against the run and the pass, according to Pro Football Focus. He's tied for the lead in tackles. The guy is relentless. So, when you juxtapose Michael Taaffe and Arch Manning, Arch is, dealing with some, negativity, criticism, adversity for the first time in his athletic life. And then you got a guy like Mookie Taaffe who's like, "Yo, bro, you're good. Like, this isn't adversity. What the girls went through at Camp Mystic is adversity. Yeah. We're playing a game." And he just kind of brings everything right back to reality. So, of course, Mookie's the one who, pronounced that Arch Manning got his swagger back. So that quote was all over Sports Center after the Sam Houston game. But Michael Taaffe, special guy, man.
Very. I mean, I like what CB said here. Mookie's got some ups. I think he's talking about the celebration that him and Arch do, their handshake celebration where they pretend to go between the legs and dunk it. I think Jade and somebody used to do that back in the day. But, yeah, Mookie Taaffe, special, just a beautiful person. And it's crazy because when you hear him talk and speak, the guy sounds like a preacher and a motivational speaker, and you see him on the field and he's just running around with like his head on fire, just laying the wood, making big plays, throwing his body on the line. And there was a point in time when we were doing the show where you were like, "I'm gonna need Mookie Taaffe not to drag and hold anymore," and he came back last season and All-American for that ass. And
yeah,
that he could be one of the best safeties, not only safeties, but best defensive players in the nation. And he's continuing to do that with this team that definitely needs a lot of leadership. But yeah, Michael Taaffe, man, I can't wait till someone sleeps on him in the NFL. Like, that's going to be fun. Everybody's going to be wondering, like, how the hell did we miss out on this guy? Which it shouldn't be a thing. He's at the University of Texas. Like, the way that Texas is on TV and just all the clicks that the Horns get, it shouldn't be a surprise. But when you see his stature, when you see his complexion, first thing you think of is like, oh, this dude, come on. What, really? And then you see him play and you're like, oh, really? Okay, he got a little John Lynch in him. All right, I see it. So, yeah, man, I'm expecting him to continue to lead this team to greatness, and he's a big reason why this is one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah, and Michael even makes fun of himself about that. He's like, Taaffe, said he learned from Arch Manning how to handle success. And Taaffe said, I've never had that in my life. This is the first year where I've had people say I'm really good, because all my life it's like, oh, it's just him. It's the white walk-on that isn't very fast and isn't very big. And so I've never had to handle that. I've always had to handle trying to prove people wrong. I've never had to handle trying to prove people right. And he's a guy who knows exactly what the deal is, but he's also a guy who has, built his confidence through a lot of it through his faith. So, yeah, check that out over at horns247.com. Let's bring in our SEC insider and prognosticator, Lance Taylor of lanceslock.com. LT, what's going on?
Hey, fellas. Just another fall. I guess it is fall now. Yeah, fall Thursday. Cannot believe how fast the weeks go, man.
I know we're a third of the way through the season.
No, don't say that. It's awful. It's awful. Let's slow this down.
I mean, listen, Texas is off this week. We are all eyes on Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU. But let's you're there in Birmingham. You're big star on Next Round Live. Of course, you also have lanceslock.com for how many years now?
This is year 12. So
year 12. I remember when you started.
Year 12 of the old side hustle.
Yeah, the side hustle. So what's the energy like? Alabama, Georgia. Alabama has had Kirby's number. Are they going to get him again?
I think they are. I think there is something about teams that just have another team's number. I think they're, I go back to this past Sunday, and that was one of the worst in all of my years of being a Rams fan. One of the worst regular season losses, maybe that I can ever remember, up 26-7, second half, completely dominating the game. And then on the final two possessions, have a 36-yard and a 44-yard field goal blocked. Absolutely just it. But going into the game, people were like, I can't believe you didn't give out the Rams today. That seems like one of your kind of plays. And I said, I think it's probably a pretty good play. Two things scare me. First of all, it's become kind of a trendy play. By the way, if you had the Rams or any of your listeners out there plus 3.5 to lose that on Jordan Davis on the return, when you're up 19, so you're getting 22.5 in the second half of an NFL game with what was viewed as the better head coach, the better quarterback. I mean, just mind-blowing. So that would be an awful loss. But I said it became a trendy pick, so I stayed off. And then the other thing that scared me was the Rams had lost 9 of 10, which Georgia has lost 9 of 10. The Rams had lost 9 of 10 to the Eagles. Georgia's lost 9 of 10 to Alabama. Once it gets mentally up there, it's hard to shake. And some of the ways that Georgia has lost to Alabama, to a backup quarterback in the 2018 SEC championship game, 2017, second and 26 in overtime. Devontae Smith getting hit up top, from a backup quarterback, a true freshman, and Tua, his first significant, playing time. They've lost some head scratchers. Last year, Alabama jumped out to that huge lead in the first half. Carson Beck led them back in the second half. They ended up losing by 7. It ended up being a really good game, but Kirby Smart, to put it in perspective, he's 1-6 against Alabama. He is 107-13 against everyone else. He's lost a third of his games to Alabama. Take Alabama away, he's probably got 4 national championships. It's just crazy the way this thing is played out. But I think these are equally matched teams. Coming out of that, I mean, there was good and bad coming out of the Tennessee game for Georgia, I thought. Gunnar Stockton looked like a quarterback that can win a game for you in a shootout, a quarterback that can make plays. But on the other side, this Georgia defense, to basically get completely shredded, like that's something you really haven't seen before. So I believe Alabama can go out with Ty Simpson the way he's playing right now. And I think they can score some points on this Georgia defense. They're 19th right now in scoring offense, almost 43 points per game. Two major factors. Jam Miller, Alabama has been so inconsistent running the football. He's coming back. That was supposed to be their bell cow out of the backfield this year. And then Tim Keenan up front on that defensive line. They got pushed around in Tallahassee against Florida State. We know that Nate Frazier and Mike Bobo in his offense is going to try to really pound it with Nate Frazier. So I think Tim Keenan coming back into the lineup is going to be big. Alabama ran for 177 on Georgia last year. Georgia only ran for 80. That was the difference in that game, and turnovers. But to answer your question, this will be the first time, although Kirby is 1-6 against Alabama, this will be the first time he's ever faced them at home in Athens. A lot of those games in Atlanta, SEC championship, the 2018 national championship. So it might be a little bit different there, but I like Alabama plus the 3. I really do.
What has changed so much to give you this much confidence in the Crimson Tide since the Florida State game?
Well, okay, Zay. So I think we would all say Florida State's pretty good. Now, if they lose tomorrow night in Charlottesville to Virginia, everybody's like, holy hell. Because I understand your question. Louisiana Monroe's terrible. So whatever the score is going to be, 77-0, 73-0, it doesn't really matter. If you've watched Wisconsin, they're awful. They're going to end up being 3-9 this year. They get destroyed at home to Maryland and a true freshman quarterback in Malik Washington. So if Florida State was to lose, then people are probably going to be like, oh, holy hell, what's going on here? I just believe that Kalen DeBoer is one of these coaches. He's 6-1 in his career against top 10s. I think you've got like rosters. I think Ty Simpson, even in the Florida State loss, he didn't do anything to lose them that game. I just think they're like rosters. Alabama's got their number, and I think Alabama's going to win this game.
Why didn't they play in the regular season for years? Lance, was that the SEC office looking out for the two best teams, not wanting them to beat each other up before getting to the SEC championship game? Like, they didn't play.
I mean, they had that SEC rotation. So you got to remember, before the college football playoff, we had East and West divisions. And obviously Georgia was in the East and Alabama was in the West. And Alabama always played the two East opponents in Tennessee and Auburn. Tennessee and Tennessee was the only – I'm getting confused because now we've got the 9-game schedule and we've been going through this all week. So when we were playing the 8-game with East and West, you had the one permanent East partner, which was Tennessee. So you had a rotation, and it just didn't rotate that much. I remember Matt Stafford in Saban's first year in 2007. That game was in Tuscaloosa, one that Georgia won in overtime. I'm trying to think of other ones that pop out. I mean, they were playing like every 4 years. They just weren't playing a lot, and it was because of the East-West rotation.
Yeah. All right, Lance, your thoughts on Auburn, what they looked like to you in that loss against Oklahoma? I mean, seemed like Jackson Arnold was always on his back, and there are just some throws that he has to complete that weren't completed in that game. And obviously a lot of things went Oklahoma's way in just different ways. With that.
Oh, my God. It was the worst officiated game as far as just egregious, massive standalone calls. There were 3. The scoop and score to begin it, like how that gets ruled an incomplete pass blows me away. That should have been 7-0 Auburn. The second obvious one was
Satania.
Satania hiding out on the sideline. Something the SEC said they really focused on this year. That was so obvious. And then the
pass interference
on the Eric Singleton reverse throw to Cam Coleman. That should have been, first down at the 15 or 20, wherever that would have been marked off with the 15 yards. But those are 3 huge penalties. This is one of those bad beats because I had Auburn plus 6.5. And of course, I knew it. I was telling my son, they are going to end this game on a sack and they're going to lose by 7. It's exactly what happened to on a 4th down play for their 10th sack of the game. So we go from Auburn looking like the offensive line has improved against Baylor to now, and I do think Oklahoma's defense is that good. And I think especially up front, I think they are dominant. But Auburn's offensive line looked lost. I think they abandoned the run a little bit. Jackson Arnold missed some big plays from Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman was running wide open all day long, and he could have had a monster 200-yard-like game. But he just missed some throws there. But I thought overall it was an evenly matched game. I mean, I thought Auburn had every opportunity to win that game. But now you go back and, I said this because I've been a big John Mateer guy in the offseason. And there's a lot of people around here that are SEC. He's not going to be able – it doesn't translate. He can't come from Pullman and be able to roll into the SEC and be a dominant guy. But I could tell something was off. Now, did I realize he was playing with a broken hand on his throwing hand? No. So I think that's one of the reasons that the Oklahoma offense was off just a little bit, was obviously the guy was playing with a broken hand, and that's a massive factor. But I thought Auburn was right there with them, and now Auburn's in a similar situation. They're catching 6.5 in College Station to a Texas A&M team that looks really good offensively, but looks a little challenged on the defensive side of the ball where Mike Elko, specializes. I think it's a fascinating game for an Auburn defense that's played really, really good. They've lost 7 straight against top 10 teams. They've given up now 12 sacks to Jackson Arnold, which is 4th most in the FBS. 15 sacks, 4th most in the FBS right now. That's a problem. Got to clean that up. But again, I think this is another one of those coin flip games. I know A&M is almost favored by 7 full points here, but kind of like Auburn plus points.
Well,
hey, by the way, the last time, and I did my research and nobody corrected me on this, but I went back because you guys saw Nick Saban was favored from 2007 SEC championship game to forever. But I went back and I tried to find the same day that both Alabama and Auburn were underdogs. And I came up with November 11th of 2000. It's been a quarter of a century since they were both underdogs on the same day. But I like both. So a little 2-team turnaround for you, a little 2-team parlay maybe, playing both Alabama and Auburn plus the points.
Okay. Well, what about LSU at Ole Miss? Ole Miss minus 1.5. LT, this game will happen at 2:30 on ABC.
I don't know what's going on with this LSU offense. They're 77th right now in scoring offense at under 30 points per game. Blake Baker's defense has been one of the most improved units in all of college football, allowing just over 9 points per game. The storyline here is Austin Simmons out, Trinidad Chambliss in, but I think Chambliss has looked that good. I think it's the right move, even if Simmons was 100%. I think I would go with Chambliss. I kind of like LSU, though. This Brian Kelly experiment hasn't been great. It hasn't been bad. He's 4-8 against ranked teams. But this LSU defense is opportunistic. They've already got 6 picks, tops in the SEC. Nussmeier is a very experienced quarterback. He hasn't been very good this year. But I think the defense is going to be the difference here. And as good as Trinidad Chambliss has been, and I think it's a great story, a guy that won back-to-back national championships at Ferris State, and he really has looked the part in this Lane Kiffin offense. I've got a sneaky feeling that LSU plus the 1.5 is the right play in this spot.
What about Oregon, Penn State? Chip and I, this is our game of the week and might be for all of college football, but how are you thinking, especially with the way Drew Aller's been playing? Hasn't been that good this season. Dante Moore has looked really good for the Ducks. How do you see this one playing out, Lance?
Well, look, the Aller thing is you can't understand it. He's 111th in QBR right now, and they really haven't played anyone. On the other side, Dante Moore, I agree. And, I've heard from people that they believe as good as Bo Nix was, as good as Dylan Gabriel was, is when it's all said and done, this is going to be the best quarterback Will Stein has had in that Oregon offense. I do think this is a challenge on the road. You go back to the Big Ten championship game last year, they gave up 297 rushing yards to Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. So I think the focus for Dan Lanning, who, by the way, is 4-4 against top 10 teams at Oregon, is going to be slowing down the run and making Aller beat you. I think Drew Aller does have the ability to beat this defense. Oregon has breezed in the Big Ten. I mean, 18-1 their last 19 games. They won the Big Ten last year. Then they get rocked by Ohio State in the playoff. But Oregon, like, this transition from Pac-12 to Big Ten has not been that big of a deal. Top 10 scoring offense at over 50 points a game. Top 10 scoring defense, giving up less than 10 points per game. I should say the top 10 scoring offense over 50 points per game. I can't believe I'm doing this because Aller's only got one top 10 win, and that was over Boise State. James Franklin is 4-20 against top 10 teams in his career, but I kind of like Penn State minus the points here. I think Dante Moore's first true road game in this whiteout where they've won 6 straight whiteouts. I wish this was a shade under 3. I wish I was laying 2.5 instead of 3.5. Don't want to get beat on that number. But I think I'm going to play Penn State minus the 3.5 and just hope that James Franklin can get another one of these top 10 wins.
That whiteout, baby.
You and I could not be more
on all these. So let me guess. You've got Ole Miss. You've got Georgia. You've got Oregon.
No, but I got Oregon. I'm not buying Drew. Now, you were right about Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson's playing some good football. My last vision of Ty Simpson was that horrible game against South Florida 3 years ago, whatever.
It was Ty Buckner. I got to remind you. Simpson
played
a little bit, but it was Ty Buckner that got the start, lacrosse player.
But Drew Aller, I've been selling that stock as fast as I can.
Well, what's crazy is Pribula better? Is Bo Pribula now at Missouri and Eli Drinkwood's offense? I think you can make the argument he is better. And when he came in last year, I remember a couple of series, I was like, man, this kid looks pretty good. He's definitely confident. He's got better wheels than Aller, but Aller's got a strong arm. Just 4 touchdowns in 3 games. Their defense has really been the calling card early on. But I think them running the football, opening up a little bit for Aller, I think he has a good game against this Oregon defense. We shall see.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fernando Mendoza. We're about to talk to Drew Fabianich, the new executive director of the Senior Bowl, and Fernando Mendoza, 14 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The guy was dealing on Illinois like they were a flag football team. LT, you buying Fernando Mendoza?
Well, I guess I didn't say it on y'all show because you would have remembered it, but I said it in the offseason. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
You're buying.
And I said this a long time ago. Zay's looking at me like I'm crazy. And Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, he's an Indiana grad. I told him back in July, he's like, oh, my God. I said, you guys are getting such an upgrade from Curtis Rourke to what you're going to get with Mendoza, because I watched him for 2 years at Cal with Justin Wilcox. I think he's tremendous. I mean, over the last 2 games, 9 touchdowns and 3 incompletions. He's got 6 more touchdown passes than incompletions. He is now going back-to-back games, completing over 90% of his passes with 5 touchdowns in each of these games. They currently have better, when you're looking at some of these probabilities, they have a better probability than Alabama, Texas, or Penn State of winning the national championship. I don't think anybody's going to buy that yet, but I think they're physical enough. My takeaways this past weekend, Texas Tech's defense is good enough to win a national championship. And I think Indiana is balanced overall good enough to compete. Like, I don't think either one will, but I think when both of those teams get to the college football playoff, and I do think both of those teams are going to a college football playoff, I think they can make runs. I really do. I think Indiana and Texas Tech, with the way they are currently built with these rosters. But anyway, back to it. I think Mendoza is an elite quarterback. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I think Cignetti's done an absolutely fabulous job when they've won, 14 or 15-2 in their last 17 games, 14 of those 15 wins by 14 plus. They have been dominant. He finally got his first ranked win as Indiana's head coach this past week against Illinois, and it was not even close. It was an absolute curb stomping. So I think Mendoza's great. I think Indiana's really good. It is a tricky game because you're going against an Iowa defense that's 24th in scoring defense, giving up less than 15 points per game. Iowa City is one of those weird places at Kinnick where, they've won 7 straight and they tend to pull off an upset every other year that's pretty monumental. So it wouldn't shock me, but I do think Indiana is a much, much better team right now.
So you think Iowa covers the 7.5?
I'm not saying that. I think this could be.
Away?
I think this could be another one of these dick whippings that I've talked about. And I think Indiana can go in there. I probably will stay away just because Indiana is coming off such a high. But at the same time, I think Cignetti is one of these guys that it is. And you look at this Saban tree and what these guys are doing, from Lanning to Cignetti to Brent Key at Georgia Tech. I mean, all these Saban assistants, obviously Kirby Smart, they're just Lane Kiffin. They're flourishing right now. Sark, yeah. I mean, all these guys are absolutely killing it. But I think Cignetti is one of these guys, 24-hour celebration rule. After that, it's back to business. It's back to being focused. And I think last year they're building off, okay, 11-2 was great. Best year in the history of this program, but we can do a little bit better. Let's prove that we belong there on a regular basis. And I just don't think they're going anywhere right now.
Lance, should Tennessee fans be concerned going to Stark Vegas this weekend? Because Mississippi State, this ain't the same Mississippi State as last year. We saw what they did to Arizona State. What do you think is going to happen in that one?
So, Zay, let me give you the hype up that I did on the show today. And then I was told, hey, our backroom social media team, they're going to send this out to get State fans all riled up. So, Jeff Lebby in year 2 right now, if they're able to pull off this upset, which catching 7.5, I think there's a possibility 315 SEC network game. At that point, at 5-0, Jeff Lebby would be your SEC coach of the year through 5 games. I don't think there's any doubt. You're talking about a team that didn't win a conference game last year. They are 27th in scoring offense with Blake Shapen at quarterback. We figure that offense will be much improved, averaging almost 40 points per game. But they're 16th in total defense, giving up just 11.7 points per game. I don't think Arizona State is as good as they were last year. I thought Sam Leavitt was awful in Starkville. I still don't know how they lost that game. Mississippi State's lost 10 SEC games straight going back to 2023. They are 5-0, their last 5 against the number. I like them covering here. I think ultimately they probably lose this game. And he's done a great job getting them going in the right direction in year 2, but I don't think they win another game. So they've already gone over their win total at 3.5, but I think they end up the year 4-8. I think they're about to lose 8 straight games.
Damn. Who's the best team in Texas right now?
The best team in Texas right now. Okay, so we can go different directions. I think Texas and Texas Tech have the best defenses. I think TCU and A&M have the best offenses. Man, you could play a round robin. I think it would be great. I know Texas fans are still going to be bullish and be like, man, our roster is way too good. And maybe it is, but it hasn't all come together. SMU's been a disappointment. Sawyer Robertson's probably your best quarterback. I know Josh Hoover would have something to say about that. It's a great question. I feel best at this point about Texas Tech with a backup quarterback in Will Hammond. I really do. I just think in that conference, I was really, really interested to see how this NIL transfer, model would translate to the Big 12 and to Texas Tech with Cody Campbell's money. It's working. It's working. That defense. Boy, I mean, that was a ass whipping what they did to Utah in front of their fans in Salt Lake City. I mean, I know it was a good game, 1 possession going into the fourth quarter, but the way they pulled away and completely dominated the fourth quarter, I mean, that was impressive. Now, maybe they don't have staying power, but based on all of the Big 12 action I've seen this year, and TCU will have something to say. Of course, tomorrow night, I think Arizona State beats them straight up, plus 2.5 at home. But I think I would answer that question, Texas Tech right now. But when it's all said and done, probably will be Texas, depending on how good Arch gets. And we'll know a lot more in 2 weeks, right? Or really in a week when they play Florida, just to see what he does against that Florida defense.
What the hell's going on with my Tigers?
You talking about baseball?
Yeah, this is like one of the biggest choke jobs in the history.
God, and when you look at run differential, which I think is kind of important, like the Guardians are still minus 1 run and run differential through almost a full season. And the Tigers are still like plus 100 and something runs. I mean, it is one of the, I guess historically, it is the biggest meltdown we've had out there. And, going back to the other night when you had Scooble on the hill, the pitch that gets, I don't even want to say it gets away, it scrapes the back of Fry or scrapes the bat of Fry and gets him. And then Scooble's completely thrown off. Ball doesn't leave the infield, but he gives up 2 more runs. And like, if you can't stop the bleeding with Scooble, it's a problem. And it seems like this thing's rolling in the wrong direction. The good news is, with extended format and wild cards, you guys are going to be in. And so, anything can happen. But boy, that is a meltdown.
Yeah. Last one for me, Lance. Bruce Pearl stepping down, his son Steven stepping up. We all expected it, but maybe not this soon and as sudden as it happened. Your thoughts on Auburn head coaching situation for basketball?
Yeah, I thought the timing was really unique. It was funny. Chris Lowe busted the story about the 3 permanent partners for the SEC on Monday. And, I came out and I was like, I wonder if the SEC kind of leaked this because the officiating was so bad in Oklahoma and Auburn. They're trying to deflect a little bit. And then just 2 hours later, you get the news from Bruce Pearl on a September Monday afternoon, which was kind of crazy. And, the only thing I could think of is he definitely wanted Steven to get the job. I think Steven would have probably gotten the job anyway. We've got a really good relationship with Steven, pulling hard for the guy. It's hard to follow a legend like Bruce Pearl. The only examples I really could come up with kids, taking over for their dads. Pat Knight did it at Texas Tech. It didn't work out. Right here in Birmingham, like a lot of your listeners probably won't remember this, but Gene Bartow built a program with the UAB Blazers in the late 70s through the 80s, a team that went to an Elite 8. Gene Bartow was the UCLA coach right after, oh my gosh, what's his name? John Wooden retired. The next coach was Gene Bartow, who got him to a Final Four. So anyway, Bartow's son took over the UAB program that he built from scratch, and Murray Bartow couldn't make it work. So there's not a lot of great examples of the kid taking over and really running with it. But I do have confidence in Steven Pearl. I did think the timing was interesting. I think most people are going to say nepotism. The only reason he did this was to, tie the hands of the administration and make sure Steven got the job. I don't know if that's 100%. There are rumors that with Tommy Tuberville's state Senate seat being open, that Bruce Pearl wants that. But now Bruce Pearl is saying that's not necessarily true. So I don't know. The timing was very, very interesting. I have heard for a while, and I called it last year. Well, I guess I'm right now. I said I thought last year was going to be Bruce Pearl. I can't believe I didn't catch this on Monday. I called Nick Saban's final season, and now I've called Bruce Pearl's final season. I'm going to have to clap back with that tomorrow on the show. So I wasn't surprised, but the timing was surprising.
Well, tell everyone what's going on at lanceslock.com.
So we've got one play up tonight with the Seahawks and the Cardinals game in the NFL. We will have multiple plays in college football up. I kind of give you a hint of one direction I'm leaning in the Big 12 tomorrow night. But you can buy a weekly package, daily package, monthly package, the all-exclusive football package. You can try us out every single day. We're 8 games over 500 already early on in the football through 4 weeks of college and 3 weeks of the NFL. Jump on. We win consistently. We've been doing it for more than a decade. Lanceslock.com.
Love it. LT, appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend. Let's do it again next week.
Yeah, man. I am so excited about all of these games this weekend, and Alabama, Georgia, man. It just doesn't get any better. It does suck that we've got to share primetime SEC Big Ten with those 2 big games. I wish we could have staggered it around. We really don't have a late night game. Let's make Penn State play at 9:15 instead of BYU in Colorado.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, man. Lanceslock.com for the picks.
Y'all be good. Talk soon.
All right. All right. From one blockbuster guest to another, we bring in the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl, the one and only Drew Fabianich. You can follow him on Twitter at DFabeSB. Drew, how you doing?
What's up, Zay?
What's up, Drew? Is that Michael Penix behind you, Drew?
That's Michael Penix behind me. Herbert on the other one, Senior Bowl Q's, Danny Dimes lighting it up too, So a lot of success can be made down here. A lot of money can be made down here.
So I was telling the listeners, you, of course, were the national scout for the Dallas Cowboys, and had that. You were with the Cowboys for what, 18 years?
18 years. And I was the national scout for 14 out of those 18 years. And
Okay.
like, I always like to say, hey, I didn't get a ring, didn't get one, didn't get two, didn't get three, didn't get any. But, we did draft 67 Pro Bowl appearances during my time there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And
That's what I'm
Dez's catch was a catch.
It was a catch. That was a catch. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And then you got into the college football. You were a GM.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's different. You and I talked about this before. They're throwing that title around to a lot of people now, but are they really general managers, or are they just quasi high school recruiting guys? Because general manager in the NFL, you handle everything. And when I went to Auburn and then I went to West Virginia, I handled everything. And that was from the contracts to, the recruiting high school side, the transfer portal side, structuring like a pro program, because the colleges now are no different than an NFL setup, because the portal is like pro free agency and the high school is just like the college recruiting. So it's one and the same. So you split it up in two different departments, and then you kind of pull everybody together, right when that portal opens, and then try to catch up as fast as you can. But I also handled 85 support staff, made sure the nutrition people were doing, what they needed to be doing, the medical staff, everybody, constant meetings, and, I had a little bit of time for evaluation, but it was normally late at night. So yeah, the college GM thing is, depending on where you are, it can be a very, very good job, or it can be an incredibly demanding, punishing position. And I took 2 days off in 2 years at West Virginia.
Well, and you were working with Neil Brown, who's now doing some analyst work at Texas.
Yeah, special assistant to the head coach or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell people this. I mean, you don't realize how good of a ball coach Neil Brown is until you're around him and watch him call a game. He understands mismatches. He takes advantage of people defensively. And, West Virginia's a hard job. Don't get me wrong, but he was successful everywhere he was, and he'll be successful the next place that he ends up, because he'll end up being a head coach again. Great to work for. And it wasn't that he was grinding me to death. It was that I didn't feel comfortable enough to let go of certain things until I got it the way I wanted it and got the people in the places that I wanted them. And then I probably would have kind of backed off and said, hey, I'm good, go ahead. And then I probably would have taken a little bit of time, but I hadn't gotten to that point yet. I was getting close, but that's just me and I'm a little bit OCD. You know that.
Hey, that's what it takes in this business. Now you're evaluating everybody. How different is what you're doing as the executive director of the Senior Bowl from what you were doing as the national scout for the Dallas Cowboys?
No different at all. I mean, I'm evaluating everybody across the country. Now, I am not personally going to look at every single player in the country that I think is draft eligible until it comes to that time where we actually make the decision on the 140 players that we're going to bring here. I've got 10 guys that are out on the road that are really our cross checkers and really our first kind of line of defense. And I've got 2 in-house scouting assistants plus my director of football operations, Jack Gilmore, and myself. So we got 14 guys that are actually watching tape. And before I got here, when I walked into Jim's old office, there was already 250 players already on the board. So the system had already been set up. All I did is just kind of enhanced it a little bit and kind of made sure that we didn't reject off of one person's view. Does that make sense? Because in the league, we made a couple of big time errors, and we missed players because we let one area scout reject a player. And all of a sudden that player gets drafted in the 4th round, and it's like, okay, whose ass is going to pay for this? Well, we found out that it was whoever did that. Now, again, then from that point on, it was always 2 people had to reject a player or push a player up. So those guys will, do the legwork to start out, and then I'll finish it, and decide on who's going to be the 140 that we're going to bring. But I watch every weekend, and I visited with you, before. I watch Multiview whole day, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, I'm taking notes all day long. Then what makes it even better, I walk in the office on Monday morning, I pull up PFF, and right there it's loaded. And I can check everything that I saw. I can evaluate those players that I said, okay, he flashed a little bit, I need to take a look at him. It's incredible because back when I started as a scout, you used to have to go into the school to get current tape because everybody sent it to the NFL Dub Center. Then it got sent to the team. Then you had to download it. So this was like 3 weeks from when you would be able to see that game. So PFF is phenomenal. I should be a spot. They should sponsor me, because I'm their biggest sales pitch right now because it's awesome. And it's not about pulling the key plays or this or that. It's the games are available right then. And it's awesome.
You're talking about Pro Football Focus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Go ahead, Zay.
Yeah. So you look at this Texas football team, Drew. Is there anyone you're noticing on this squad that could possibly make the Senior Bowl this upcoming end of the year?
Well, I'm not gonna lay a lot of guys out there, and I don't want to piss, Sark off too much, by mentioning juniors, so I'm going to try not to. But the ones that have been, productive, the Andres kid has done a good job this year. He really has. I mean, when I first watched him, I was a little bit disappointed off of last year's, and he's actually performed a lot better this year and gotten bigger, faster, and stronger. Like Anthony Hill a lot. Gilbo, Taaffe's a football player, regardless of how small he is. He's a football player. And I can tell that they're really, really comfortable with him in the back end because I'll be willing to bet if I talk to the secondary coach, talk to Aquino, he'd go, yeah, he's the smartest guy in the room. He's a coach on the field. I already know the character of him before I even talk to him, just by watching the tape. I'll mention some young guys that are not eligible, but, McDonald and, 29 are going to be special.
Yeah, Grayson Littleton.
Yes, going to be special. And, I know a ball player when I see one, and they're going to be ballers.
Yeah, that's exciting. You've got, it's been an interesting beginning of the season for Texas. Arch Manning didn't look comfortable, didn't look in rhythm in those first 3 games. And then they play Sam Houston, who's got one of the worst defenses in college football, and he looked good. So I don't know.
So let me ask you guys this now. You weren't the guys that were like pumping him up as the first pick and Heisman Trophy winner right off the bat. You're not those guys?
No. We said it was going to take time.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you this. If his name was not Manning, would people have been more patient?
Yes.
And would they have put those expectations on him if his name was not Manning?
Right. I mean,
and again, I was flabbergasted. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty good at evaluating talent, but off of 3 total games, I couldn't say he was the first pick of the Heisman Trophy winner.
Right.
I mean, because there's not enough tape out there. There's not enough experience. I mean, and then you put him start him at the shoe. I mean, against a really good Ohio State defense, and he got things thrown at him that he had never seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, Patricia was throwing some exotics at him that I'd have been confused too. I would have been. So again, let the kid grow, let him develop. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier, perfect example. Let him grow, let him play, because the game's going to slow down for him at some point. It's just right now, it's just moving too fast for him right now. Yeah. But once he starts playing at that speed, it'll change. I mean, he'll come. I mean, and good supporting cast. I mean, you guys are really good on defense. I mean, really good on defense. So, like I said, I'm interested in seeing next week. I really am.
Yeah, at Florida.
Yeah.
How good is Caleb Downs, the safety at Ohio State?
Again, don't want to piss anybody off, but he's as close to Ed Reed as I've seen in 15 years, and that's saying a lot. For those that haven't watched Ed Reed, pull some clips. Pull some clips, because he's the best of all time. Playing that position, playing high in the post. I mean, he would bait people to death and make plays all over the field, big and fast. I mean, again, Downs, same guy. If you let him play, if you played him in the post all the time, he'd look like Ed Reed. He would. And I hope Ed Reed knows that's a compliment, because I think he's one of the best of all time.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Fernando Mendoza? I mean, he really lit it up against Illinois this weekend. We just had Lance Taylor on, who jumped on before you, and he's been talking about Fernando being possibly the number one pick for a long time. And
how long has he been saying that?
He said that earlier this summer, but still, for him to say that, like, I wasn't watching Cal last year. I knew about Jack injuries, but I wasn't watching Cal like that. How good is he, and how impressive is he to you?
I brought him up on my first appearance on Good Morning Football back in May when I was hired. And I said, the one that I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does at Indiana was Fernando Mendoza, because I watched him against Auburn, and he carved them up last year. And I wanted to see if he's going to get bigger. I wanted to see if he's going to develop. And, I mean, I didn't expect them to just run Illinois out of the game. I mean, they ran him. And 2 incompletions. I mean, think about that. I mean, that's 7-on-7 talk. That's on air talk. I mean, 2 incompletions, 14 touchdowns, 0 picks. I mean, Sig does a great job with those quarterbacks. He does. And he understands pro system. He'll understand protections. He'll understand how to run it, He'll run the front. He'll command the line of scrimmage, because he'll be able to ID the mic. He'll be able to change the protections. He'll know who's hot. He's big. He's fast enough and athletic enough to save his own ass, which is good, because he's going to get hit in the NFL. Everybody does. So I like him. I'm just not ready to say, hey, he's the number one quarterback taken yet, because there's still a lot of football to be played. And there's some other guys that, haven't played up to what they should, which I think they probably will a little later. And we'll see what happens. But I really, really like him, and I brought him up real early. I brought him up, like I said, in May. Now I didn't bring him up to say he was first quarterback taken. I said I was really interested in seeing him, but I really liked what he did. So I ain't going to claim it, just like I told Dak Prescott, I was the only one in the building that didn't claim that I had him in the first round.
Well, Carson Beck, he's at Georgia last year. The expectations, his receivers led the nation in drops. Now he's at Miami. Miami looks like they're for real. What are your thoughts on Carson Beck and what the Miami Hurricanes are doing? Speaking of Ed Reed.
Yeah. Miami Hurricanes, that defense, now they play fast. And you want to talk about gang tackling, because they all play fast. And they've got 8 hats around that ball almost all the time. I think it was great for Carson Beck to go down there. I knew his stock was kind of falling last year. I mean, he's got the prototype, look that everybody's looking for in the NFL. He's big, he's fast, he's got good arm strength, and like you said, there wasn't a lot of support around him last year. And he was taking a lot of shots, and he made some poor choices. I think he's playing more within himself. I think he's real comfortable. I think their coordinator has made him comfortable, because I think they're asking him to do things that he can do, not things that he can't do. And I think he's really, really comfortable with what he's doing. You can see that there's a calmness to him, but there's also that little bit of risk taker, which, I like. I mean, I like a guy that's going to gunsling every once in a while, but again, I think it was great for him to stay, because I think he actually increased his value, and I think he will continue to increase his value throughout this year.
Yeah. All right. You got a question here from Jack, who says, Drew, they called Marion Barber the Barbarian. What do you remember about him? And was he the last of the true wrecking balls of the running backs?
Yeah, I would say he is. There's not a lot of guys that ran as, and again, my biggest memory was he wasn't just physical, he was violent as a runner. And by the time it got to the midway through the third and the fourth, there wasn't anybody that wanted to tackle him. He did actually wear down defenses. There were dudes that you would see try to cut him instead of trying to take him on because they had tried to tackle him earlier in the game, and he'd lower his head, he'd lower that shoulder, and he would punish dudes. And like I said, it's a violent game, and he was a violent man. So yeah, he probably there's not many people that run the ball like that anymore. It's like Scatterboot tries to, and he's very good at it. But Marion was a different animal because he was bigger than Scatterboot.
Yeah. God bless his soul.
God bless his soul. I'm with you.
Yeah. Drew Aller is an interesting guy, interesting quarterback that, we've seen him have a lot of upside, but also he's kind of stabbed himself in the foot with some of his play, especially this season. Your thoughts on Drew Aller and just his time at Penn State and what you think he could be?
I had the opportunity to play against him twice, and I did the advanced reports on him during my time in West Virginia. Again, prototype, height, weight, speed, got good arm strength, athletic enough to, escape, but now is he really truly a run threat? No, but he's, like I said, he's athletic enough to save his own ass. The thing that I noticed about him, he was not very accurate when the pocket wasn't clean. And when the pocket's clean, he's very, very productive. When it's not, he kind of struggles a little bit. And I would be willing to bet you that Dan Lanning sends those fire breathers after him pretty regularly up there in Happy Valley. Because, under pressure, I want to see how he fares under pressure. I like the player. Like I said, I just want to see how he performs under pressure.
Yeah.
What was from your scouting days? What was one of your proudest guy you fought for and got selected and lived up to the hype?
It wasn't one that we took. It was one that we didn't take. And I'll make a long story short. Jason Garrett wasn't a huge fan of Jordy Nelson, and I was. Okay, he called him my pet cat. Okay, and I single-handedly saw him beat Texas at Texas, right, with 2 punt returns, 7 catches, $150, and I am pumping this guy up all the time in the meetings, and I keep trying to get him up into the second round, and nobody's budging, and I'm just going we can't get him in the third. I said, I got to get him up into the second. I said, this guy can play, right? Well, fast forward about 6 years later, we hire, Jimmy's, I wish I could remember Jimmy's last name, Jimmy Robinson. We hire him from Green Bay. He's coaching receivers. So we're talking that spring on what we're looking for in receivers. And, Jason goes, hey, Jimmy, got to ask, you got Driver, you got, Jones. He said, you got Jennings. He said, you got Jordy. He says, who's the best up there? He says, Jordy, hands down, not even close. So I went like this. And Jason goes, I know, because he looks clunky. I said, I watched him smoke Aqib Talib in the Kansas game. I said, he can run. I said, again, sometimes you just don't listen, and he listened from then on, but it took a little while. But that was my proudest moment, and again, the one that, I beat the tom-tom for all the time, and you can ask him, I beat the tom-tom for Tony Romo from the day he walked in the building. I mean, I tried to, I said it, the year that we had Henson and him and, and Bledsoe, I was like, if Tony ever sees the field, he's never coming off of it, and Purcell's, I just don't see it yet. He's a gunslinger, doesn't manage the game, and, we'll see, And every year, I'd see Tony when I came back, and I'd go, hey, I keep doing it. He goes, I know. He said, I know you're beating a tom-tom for me. I said, yeah. So that was, and again, I didn't say, let's go draft this guy or let's go sign this guy. It was just, once I evaluated him, once we had him, he did things with his eyes and his sense and spatial awareness that can't be taught. And that's hard because the most misses you have are taking quarterbacks because you can't really get to know them that well before you take them. Because Dak Prescott wasn't a very accurate quarterback when he was coming out of Mississippi State. He's improved that because he's improved his mechanics, but you can't change what's in his head and what's in his heart because any teammate he's ever had says he's one of the greatest teammates that ever walked. So that's what made him what he is, because there are a lot of guys that have a little bit more talent than him that aren't as good as him because of that. So I bounced around about that. Sorry.
No.
Perfect.
I mean, Cowboys fans want to know if Dak has that clutch gene,
Well, you got to protect him, and you got to have weapons, and sometimes he's had them, sometimes he hasn't. I mean, it's bad for CD to be down. I mean, what a player. I mean, love him to death. That was one of my last drafts. The Parsons draft was my last draft, So I still have a few guys on there that I really, care about and I think that are, good people and good players.
Yeah. What about on the other side of it, Drew? Somebody that you were so sure on, future Canton guy, Hall of Famer, that just didn't pan out for whatever reason why, but just didn't pan out.
It was one that taught me a lesson, Zay. It was Vernon Golston. I had him really high. And when I saw him at the combine, I was going like, this dude looks like a linebacker bouncing around out there. And he's like 6'6", about 295 pounds. You're going like, wow. And the tape, I kept going back to the tape. I kept going like, there's something missing. He just doesn't stick his face in. He's not a violent soul, And I went, But I left that grade on him, right? Well, he got drafted high. He a total bust. And here comes Quentin Coples about 4 years later. And I went, this tape looks just like Vernon Golston's tape. And I said, nope, not going to fall for it this time, right? So I said, you guys put whatever grade you want it. Mine's going to stay where it is because I'm not interested in taking him high. And guess what? He wasn't successful either.
Yeah.
So again, you learn lessons all the time, and you learn from your mistakes. And just like Johnny Majors said when I was coaching for him, he says, if you get taught a lesson, he said, learn from it. Don't let it happen again. And that's how I kind of went through coaching and through scouting and personnel, because nobody's right all the time. There are a lot of guys that say they are. There's some general managers out there that said they were right all the time, but their ass is sitting on the bench or they're fired already. So, that's just part of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss that much.
No. You were there. I think one of my favorite guys to come through Texas is DeMarvion Overshone. Personality.
I wasn't there for him. No.
Okay.
He was the year after. Parsons was my last year.
Okay. Yeah, I hope he gets healthy and.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll tell you what though, guys like that though. I mean, God bless Sean Lee. I mean, Sean Lee never made it through a season. He was one of the best linebackers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they kind of keep in that cycle that, if they're hurt in college, they continue to get hurt in the NFL. They continue to get hurt throughout their career. And it's just, some dudes they're just not built for it. Sean just had just a rash of injuries just every time he turned around. And when he was healthy, he was something else now. He was special, So yeah. I hope he does too, because I don't like to see anybody get hurt and, miss out on, time they could be playing. But, he wasn't one of mine. So I really don't. I remember him, but I didn't evaluate him. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What do we got here? I hate that Deuce Vaughn didn't get to start. He's a star, but we'll never get to know. He just too small, Drew.
If he's not starting, it's hard for him to find a spot on special teams because of just the body type. If he's not the returner, your special teams coach is going to go like, hey, I don't have a place for him. Where's he going to line up? And again, Deuce is a really, really great college football player. And I worked with his dad. Chris is one of the best dudes around. And, Deuce is special as a small player. But the league's not meant for small dudes. It's just not. As Parcells said, small guys wear down, big guys don't get any smaller.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's true.
Zay, you got one more?
Yeah, Drew. Who else has impressed you throughout this college football season? Team, player, coach, etc.
Huh. Well, I'll tell you what. I like what Texas Tech has done. The two edge rushers that they brought in out of the portal, they're difference makers. And when you can bring in pass rush, it makes your secondary so much better. It does. And their secondary is not bad. Don't get me wrong, but that was a really, really good move by James Blanchard, and he's done a really good job in the portal. Now I know they spent a lot of money, but guess what? There's a lot of other people that did too. But how come they're getting kind of punished on that? Because do you think Oregon spent a lot of money in the portal? Do you think Ohio State did too? I mean, a lot of them do. They just made it quite clear that they were going to do this, and they put it out there. So again, probably Texas Tech. James Blanchard right now, done a really good job. Joey's done a great job. And I'm going to say this to Oklahoma State too now. People don't really understand how good a job Mike Gundy did there for years, because that is not an easy job. There are not a ton of football players in the state of Oklahoma. And he came into Texas, took a lot of kids out of Texas, and won 10 games a lot. And that's not easy. Anywhere in college football, that's not easy, win 10 games. It's just not. So, yeah, I've got some, little favorites, here and there. Because like I saw Garrett Nussmeier kind of grow up a little bit, when I was with his dad. I knew I met Cade when he was, in Austin a long time ago. So yeah, there's some guys that I'm, kind of pulling for, and that have done well. And Nuss has played really well. Garrett's played really well this year. So
yeah,
I hate to run on you guys, but I have to.
Hey,
appreciate it,
Drew. We appreciate the time. Let's do it again next week.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Pleasure.
All right. There he is. Drew Fabianich. Follow him on the Twitters at DFabeSB. He is the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl. Zay, some interesting stuff there.
Very. He's already looking at Grayson Littleton. It's been 4 games, Chip.
Yeah.
4 games. And Drew already said Grayson Littleton's already got that it factor to him, which not surprising, but the more people you hear it from, especially people who are very credible like Drew is, come on. Like, they had Grayson Littleton on the outside this past weekend against Sam Houston State, but still, he's not just a nickel guy. Like, I could see him moving around throughout his Texas tenure, and it's exciting for him. It's exciting for Pete Kwiatkowski and these defensive coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Drew had good things to say about Jack Endries.
Yeah.
About Anthony Hill, Michael Taaffe, Jelani McDonald. And he said he'll be watching closely when the Longhorns head to Gainesville to take on the Gators. So I was listening to Billy Napier on the SEC coaches call yesterday, and apparently there were like rumors about DJ Lagway might, want to shut it down, and Billy Napier's like, that is all BS. It's all BS. So, you got
shut it down, DJ. This ain't it. This might not be it, bruh. You're a Texan, dog. You're a Texan at heart, going all the way to the Sunshine State. It's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not for everybody. So I'm not saying that Steve Sarkisian is giving them a call. That ain't what I'm saying. But there's other schools besides the 40 acres that might love to have DJ Lagway to where he could be closer to home in Willis, Texas. The brother's homesick. I see it in his eyes.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
The brother's homesick.
Zaby conjuring.
You know what I'm saying, Jack? You feel me, Jack? The brother's homesick. That's a long place. So he wanted to come to Texas. He couldn't. Arch is here. They ain't even call him. I bet.
You trying to get him to TCU then? Because Josh Hoover
will be on you, right? Would you take DJ Lagway at SMU?
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? Yo, he's got some good football in him. It's been tough. Like, South Florida, LSU, Miami, it's been tough. He's been bad. I still can't get over 61 yards. Like, dude, you throw a screen pass to somebody, that give you at least 20. Like 61 yards. I know Miami's defense good, but they're not the 85 Bears, man. Like, come on. So, yeah, those aren't good rumors, Billy Napier. You never want to hear those types of things. Shut it down. Florida did a good job of, they made a little highlight video or a little social media post of DJ Lagway slinging it yesterday on their Twitter. And then the caption said, "Back to work." So I think that was kind of a little jab to all these rumors going around saying DJ Lagway, for one, is in a boot, and two, as you just mentioned, might be shutting it down for 2025. Come on, Lagway. Come on, dog.
He's not. According to Billy Napier, DJ Lagway is hard at work. Do we have a quarterback controversy at Texas Tech?
Yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. This is the worst thing. If you're Joey McGuire, this is the worst thing that could have happened. Like, everybody's feeling great about you. You heard what Drew said. You heard what Lance said. You heard what Chris Hummer said yesterday. Everybody's high on Tech. Best team in the Big 12. Win at Jerry World. College football playoff. But you might have a quarterback battle on your hands. They're going to say Brandon Morton. They're going to say it's him just because I feel like you have to. You can't just, I don't know. You don't want to lose your team. I don't know. I don't know where they go because I'm playing Will Hammond. He's an Austin Knight, so I'm biased as hell. He was a Hutto Hippo. I'm playing Will Hammond. I saw how Will Hammond was slinging that thing in Salt Lake City. That was different. And he was running. He was making things happen.
And he was running. Like,
he was running.
He's averaging 11.3 yards per carry.
Yeah, Brandon Morton, he out here getting lit up, throwing picks. Just saying, Joey McGuire.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes a Hutto Hippo just creeps up on you and says, "Hey,
yo, I love Hutto, man. Just everywhere in that city, just random hippo statues. Just everywhere. Yeah. Like every establishment, restaurant, just a random hippo outside. Just chilling. Like they're
Will Hammond's got that burnt orange hair like the Hutto Hippos.
Yeah.
Hutto Hippos got that burnt orange, you know?
Yeah. I bet you Sark didn't give him a call once. I bet you Sark didn't.
You gonna give KJ Lacey a chance?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, it's funny when all these quarterbacks, you see Sawyer Robinson and
Josh. Well, he took Trey Owens the same year that Tech took Will Hammond.
How'd that work out? Who got the better quarterback?
I don't know. I haven't seen Trey Owens on the damn field.
Will Hammond's right down the street.
I know.
Like you don't have to hit up Bianco for the plane or anything.
Bianco's in charge of the plane.
I don't know who is. That's the first name I thought of. But either way, you don't got to.
Conte, maybe.
Yeah, CDC. You don't got to hit up nobody. Just go right down 35, hit the toll. Bam, you're in the huddle, man. Yeah, Trey Owens gone, baby. He gone. I love you, Trey. I'm gonna miss you, but you need to start tampering right now. Every call you get, answer it. It might be Texas State. It might be UTEP. It might be UTSA. Those good gigs. You go down UTSA. Jeff Traylor would love to have Trey Owens.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Somebody on the coded text line said, appreciate y'all giving Huddle love. Got a small hippo in front of my crib. See, I love it, man. I love it.
Like, the Hutto Hippos. Come on.
Hutto's the spot.
Will Hammond. How can you not love Will Hammond?
Nah,
All
that
right,
was Chip, Rex. That was Chip. Don't put that on me. I was Chip that was saying that he was a gamer. He'd be fine and all that stuff.
Yeah, I said Owens is a gamer. And we haven't seen him in a game since. How can he be a gamer if he can't get in the game?
Sark didn't even let him throw last year either. When he got in the game for cleanup hour, they just ran the whole time. Like,
look, someone's getting squeezed. You know, Dia Bell's coming in. And I don't know. Look, Sark's the quarterback guru, offensive guru. So I just know how calm he was. I know it was a spring game, but man, he had third down conversions. He converted 3rd and 19 for God's sake. But hey,
good arm, good
quarterback
body, 6'5". He probably around 220 also. I think he's bigger than that. But
yeah, he is 6'5", 220.
Yeah. So you'll take that. You'll take the measurements, but sometimes it just doesn't work out for some guys, man. I'm still Charles Wright. I remember seeing Charles Wright, Austin High, put up numbers, kill my Bulldogs. Charles Wright lit up my Bulldogs. It was rough. I was like, okay, this guy underrated. It didn't work out for Charles. Charles moved on. I don't know where he's at, but I hope he's doing well. That's just what it is, you know?
Jeff Traylor could take Trey Owens to Oklahoma State.
Ooh, CB, I like that. Traylor ain't going to Oklahoma State. He already said that. Him and his wife, we love San Antonio. Really, Jeff?
Hey, leave Jeff Traylor alone, will you?
Who says that, man?
Guy is making stuff happen. He won 3 conference championships, and then the portal opened, and everybody started stealing his players.
Yeah, so why would you want to continue to be a part of that?
Right.
When you're good enough to move on?
You know why? Because he's still holding out them hopes. He would love to get a job in the state of Texas or on the border of Texas, like Arkansas. All right, let's get a couple mentions in here on a Off the Rails Thursday full of great guests. Hey, guys, if you're snoring, and you know who you are, because the person sleeping next to you probably is losing their wits, there is something you can do, and I would take advantage of this incredible partnership that we have right now between the Texas Sports Unfiltered and the Sleep Cycle Centers in Austin, in Lakeway, and the Arboretum. Here's the deal. Dr. Chad Denman, he founded the Sleep Cycle Center, dedicated his life to treating sleep apnea because it killed his own father at the age of 60. He's got the best technology to detect the level of sleep apnea that you have. And you go to sleepcyclecenters.com, tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. They're going to take $100 off your sleep study. That's when they detect how much actual deep sleep you're getting. If you're waking yourself up throughout the night, we need to talk. They've got the best treatment options, from oral appliances like I have, a mouth guard that holds your lower jaw open so you get that oxygen while you're sleeping, to surgery. So take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Just go to sleepcyclecenters.com. Tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you and get that $100 off your sleep study. And hey, when you're ready for the big screen of your dreams, audio, visual consultations, our man Tom McKay, he is the expert. He's ready and waiting for you. He's been doing it for 30 years in Austin. He's a huge supporter of Texas Sports Unfiltered. When you call 255-8678, tell them that you are calling because you heard about AV consultations on Texas Sports Unfiltered. He's probably going to, he's already going to bring you the best price on big screens. So there's no need to go take your truck out and haul an 80-inch TV around town, punch holes in your drywall. Just call 255-8678. Let Tom and his crew bring everything to you. Tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. And of course, Cover 3. It's my joint. It's my jam. Make some brunch plans for the weekend. Get you that breakfast quesadilla. Tell me what you think of it. I love it. You got the do-it-yourself Bloody Mary bar. You like shrimp, bacon in your Bloody Mary? Let's go. Cover 3's got you. They've also got the Chop House burger, one of the best burgers in the state of Texas, according to Texas Monthly. And you got happy hour every day from 3:30 to 6:30. And that means the $7 social hour menu, which has the firecracker shrimp, which Scotty Scheffler had on his Masters Champions dinner menu. You can get it for $7 at Cover 3. Cover 3 Anderson, Cover 3 Round Rock. It's football headquarters, football nirvana, and great food, great service, great vibe to hang out with your buddies, eat a great meal, and watch your favorite team. All right, Zay, for the chip shot today, I'm going to talk about this tennis win I had today. Your boy still got it.
Hell yeah.
Your boy still got it.
Well, got it, huh?
We're only in the semifinals, so we gotta take care of business. But we're getting there. We're getting there. No, I'm kidding. All right. We got Zay is in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So
Skyline Chili, here I come.
okay.
That's right.
Yeah, we need a full report on Cincinnati. I've never been there. I've been to Columbus a couple times. I've been to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Never been to Cincinnati. Well,
yeah, we went past the stadiums, the Red Stadium, the Bengals Stadium today. Nice. All in one area, right next to each other. So, yeah, old school town. You know, the Reds, one of the first MLB teams back in the day. So it's an older city for sure. Like you can tell, but yeah, I'm looking forward to experiencing what Cincinnati is made of,
Skyline Chili.
Skyline Chili, yeah. I've always wanted it. Like, I'm a big Food Network guy, Man versus Food, things like that. And I always see Skyline Chili come up whenever they go to Cincinnati. They put the chili on the spaghetti. I don't know if I'm about that. I feel like I have to try it just to say I have. That's a lot, though. I think they put beans in their chili, too. So as a Texan, I also don't know about that. So, I'm trying to embrace it, trying to take everything in. But, yeah, beans in the chili on spaghetti. They're doing the most. But we'll see.
No, I want to talk about Michael Taaffe and this story I wrote over at horns247.com because Michael Taaffe is a special individual from, I think pretty much everyone knows that he didn't have a single scholarship offer. Not one. I mean, he had some Ivy League schools that were like, hey, we'll help with financial aid if you want to come here.
Damn, Rice didn't give him no scholarship?
No, preferred walk-on from Rice. And Michael told his dad, if I go there, you're only going to have to pay for a year because I'll get on scholarship. And as it turns out, Sam Ehlinger helped to persuade Texas, Todd Dodge as well, to give a preferred walk-on opportunity to Michael Taaffe. And sure enough, he redshirted in 2021. And by December of 2022, he was on scholarship. And he had a couple of interesting little validation moments, if you will. So in 2022, he told Bijan Robinson, he's like, hey, man, you're going to win the Doak Walker Award. And Bijan's like, well, what about you? You thinking about winning the Thorpe? And Taff's like, I don't even play. He's like, no, you got the work ethic. We've all seen it on special teams. You know what you're doing. You need to think bigger. And Michael Taaffe said it was a huge conversation. And he's like, he said, that proved to me that as a walk-on, you have to have, quote, crazy, irrational confidence. and that he just started thinking bigger, thinking higher. And then in 2023, Jalen Catalon gets injured. Taaffe steps in, starts intercepting passes. Catalon gets healthy, can't get his job back, transfers, leaves, goes to UNLV. Now he's at Missouri. And the Taaffe family is like, we're huge Jalen Catalon fans. Like, we knew, how good of a player he was. It was like injuries happen and you can't predict it. And the Taaffes are so cool that they went to the Broncos Titans game to support Jahdae Barron and Gunnar Helm, who became, friends of the family. Jahdae Barron, obviously, Austin connection. He and Taaffe trained together under Bam Blake in high school, even though they went to different high schools. Jahdae Barron to Connolly, Taaffe to Westlake. But the Taaffe family, without Michael, because he's practicing everything else, went to the Broncos Titans game and hung out with Jahdae Barron, Gunnar Helm, Tavondre Sweat. Pretty cool. I mean, they're obviously huge Longhorn supporters, but Sam Ehlinger, obviously, and the Taaffe family and Ehlinger family are inseparable. I mentioned how Robert Taaffe, Michael's older brother by 4 years, is one of Sam's best friends. Michael's oldest brother, Philip, was Sam's backup at Westlake. Like, they are, tight. Michael, the whole family, but Michael it's interesting because he had just hosted Arch on his official visit the weekend that Sam Ehlinger was getting married in Aspen in the summer of 2022 in June. And Taaffe got there just before the wedding because he had been hosting Arch. And Todd Dodge is at the wedding. He's like, Mookie, this is going to go one of two ways for you. If he comes, you may never have to buy another meal in Austin. If he doesn't, you may need to go into hiding. And sure enough, it worked out for Mookie, because now the other 16, as Michael Taaffe is known, he said they were at that fan appreciation day in the spring, and he was sitting next to Parker Livingston, and he goes, Parker, I'll give you $2 for every Arch 16 we see, and you give me $100 for every Taaffe 16 you see. And Taaffe said he won because there were 4 Taaffe jerseys. And however that, $400?
Yeah, that's easy for Arch though, so he wasn't tripping.
Yeah, but funny stuff, good stuff. Let's get to the right call.
No, man, I love that. I can't wait to read that article on 24/7 that you have on Michael Taaffe, and I love what Drew said about him. Like, dude, you just know that guy's a football player, man. And Drew didn't talk about specifics on where he thinks he's going to be drafted, but he knows he's going to be drafted, and he knows he's going to be a steal. And I can't wait to see that. And just even if it doesn't work out for Mookie Taaffe football-wise playing, he's going to be a coach someday. I don't know if that's what he wants to do, but it's in him.
Yeah, or a CEO.
Yeah, CEO something. It's in him. Like, that dude, just his knowledge. Yeah, beautiful thing. But all right, time for the right call. Before that, though, got to give a shout out to Covert Bee Cave, best in the business. Wifey and I, Covert Bee Cave people, love our Buick Encore GX, and you will love Covert Bee Cave too. If you don't want to take my word for it, listen to these great folks of Covert Bee Cave.
You see Covert everywhere. that personal level of just feeling like it's a personal family interaction.
The customer service, it's impeccable. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced buying a car.
Over the 30 years that I've been buying cars from them, I feel like I know them and they know me.
Covert's done an amazing job of making me feel valued. If you purchase a vehicle and you want to feel like you're part of a family, join the Covert family.
Come and experience it for yourself.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
Nobody beats a Covert deal. Not now, not ever. See, I showed Chip this, CB. I showed Chip Zion yesterday.
Can't wait to see the new Zion.
Lean, mean, athletic machine, which, you know, Jeff Teague, I don't know if you remember former basketball player Jeff Teague. He's blown up more for his podcast than his playing days. Like, he's a hilarious guy. His friends, like his childhood friends, do this podcast with him, and they're all really funny people. Probably has the funniest NBA podcast out there. But Jeff Teague was dragging Zion through the mud, and he made some good points. It was kind of like, yo, man, how long is it going to take you to finally realize you're a professional, bro? Your body should have been like this years ago. And he was like, I'm not trying to hear this now that you figured it out now and you feel the best that you did since your college days, which I get what Jeff Teague's saying, but hey, sometimes it takes guys longer to figure it out. And I'm going to give Zion a little benefit of the doubt here. For a fellow fat guy like myself, going to New Orleans isn't the best place to go for a fellow fat brother. I don't know about you, but this is probably the food capital of the world.
The etouffee.
Yeah, man. The gumbo.
Malaya,
Like,
the red fish.
the food's so good. Y'all saw me sharing it with Trey Allen. That's how good the food is. The
Gumbo Brothers.
Yeah, the Gum Bros came about just because I had to try everything. Again, different spoon, y'all. Don't try to put me out like that. Different spoon. Remember that. But yeah, Zion, he had no chance. He had no chance, man. He's young. He's 19, 20 coming into the league. He loves his food. He loves his big booty porn star women. Like, Zion is a different guy. Now he's over that. And now we could see what we've been wanting to see with Zion when he became the number one pick several years ago, because time flies in the sports world. All right, Chip. So there's that. Also, fellow or former running back Sean Alexander has welcomed his 14th kid with, I think, the same woman. I think him and his wife are together and married. But they got 14 kids together. Yeah, I saw Kay Adams congratulate Sean Alexander on Twitter, and I had to do a double take because I was like, ain't no way I read that right. I did. This fool got 14 kids. And they're still pushing them out. Like 14, man. Like Phillip Rivers, that's a lot. Like now Phillip Rivers, you know, he's coaching his kids. Phillip Rivers is a grandpa now, but Sean Alexander, he's been out the league for a while now. I don't know how old he is. I'm sure he's pushing 50 more than he's pushing 40, if not already hit 50. But 14, man.
10 daughters and 3 sons.
Yeah. And the 4th son was birthed today. So, damn,
Okay.
Sean Alexander.
10 daughters and 4 sons.
Yeah.
He can field a volleyball team with his daughters.
Speaking of volleyball, how about Texas volleyball?
Right.
How they've been this year.
They are rolling.
Carly Spears, man. Different. She's bringing what O'Neal brought years ago.
That's
like,
a good comparison.
They missed O'Neal last year.
Yes, they did.
Carly Spears is, Swagoo's daughter. She's the truth. She's the real deal. As a freshman, her coming in, they have basically the same. I thought it was O'Neal. I was like, they got O'Neal back? when I started like watching them play, I was like, they got O'Neal back, and they're like, no, that's Swagoo's daughter. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Texas volleyball, time for another run, time for another national championship run. All right, Chip. So the NBA is about to start. The four-letter network, they came out with their top 100 players for the 25-26 season. Let me break down the top 10, and I want to see if you have any problem with it. At number 10, New York Knicks point guard Jalen Brunson. At 9, Houston Rocket and former Texas Longhorn Kevin Durant. At 8, LeBron James. 7, Steph Curry. 6, Anthony Edwards. 5, the alien, Victor Wembanyama. 4, Giannis. 3, Luka. 2, SGA. And number 1, Nikola Jokic, the Joker. So overall, it's fine. I'm going to put Shea above Jokic. Yeah. I know Joker has like 4 MVPs, 3 MVPs, but what I saw from SGA this past year, winning MVP, winning the scoring title, and then leading this team to a championship, I think that deserves number 1, but number 1, number 2, not big of a difference there. What's crazy is LeBron James going in year 23 in the top 10. How? Like, how is
Who voted this?
This is ESPN.
Okay. And who was 5?
Victor Wembanyama.
That's a little high.
Yeah, before he was dealing with the blood clots and all that, he was killing. He was killing. And Roy, Roy, what's wrong with you? No, not Sam Cassell, not that alien. What's Roy, you ain't got no heart, man. No, wrong alien. But I do. You're right to say Victor Wembanyama being number 5 is high. But also, when healthy, man, what he does at 7'4", his defensive abilities, his scoring, if he can take his scoring to another level, look out, man. Look out. Like, the injuries, that's where I worry. And I know you've always worried about those tall guys and, the leg injuries and stuff. You never like blood clots when you hear that from a player. Hopefully he's gotten over that. But, yeah, LeBron, number 8, Kevin Durant, number 9. I don't know how the Rockets are going to do without Van Vliet. They're saying that they want to use one of the twins, Amen Thompson, as their point guard with Reed Shepherd. We'll see. I don't know. Like, playing point guard's kind of difficult in the NBA. So having a guy that's never really played it, like Thompson twin, he's a good player. He's a great athlete, but there's a lot that goes in running the point. And I don't know if Thompson has that in his bag. I know Reed Shepherd doesn't have that in his bag. Reed Shepherd's a really good shooter. But to hand him the keys that Fred Van Vliet was using to drive the car, Van Vliet.
Durant's got to be feeling like he did when he went to Brooklyn, because Kyrie went AWOL. That was during COVID. He's like, I'm only playing home games or whatever the hell was going on. It was just weird. And, of course, Durant had a good point guard in Phoenix with Booker, but
see, and that Booker ain't no point either.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Booker's a scorer. I don't know what happened there. I'm still flabbergasted on that situation and how that got completely ruined, because that team should have been way better than what they were. And now Phoenix might not even make the playoffs this year with their roster, Jalen Green and stuff. It might be bad, but yeah, Rex says no way Wemby should be top 10.
Yeah, that's high.
That's high. Let's ask one of the biggest Spurs fans I know, Patrick Davis. Matt, what's good?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, guys?
Is Wemby too high on that ESPN poll, fellas?
Number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah, that's probably too high for him for what he's done. I mean, by the end of the season, he could definitely be there. We know he's by far the most impactful, like, big man defensive player in the league, just blocks wise alone. Like, he was leading the league in blocks. He got hurt halfway through the season, was still leading the league in blocks. He's so good at certain things, but the overall game has to come along to be top 5, like that, that level.
Yeah, I'm with Patrick. I completely disagree with you, Zay. No disrespect, of course, but SGA above Luka is crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
Over that
that's crazy.
Husky Slovenian.
Have you seen him lately?
Isn't he taking the fat shot, skinny shot?
I don't know if he's on Ozempic or he's just been working out real hard, but that dude looks like an alien right now.
Oh my God!
But Luka always looks good at the beginning of the season, and then by the end, he's just beaten up and fat and sad.
Yeah,
it's the normal end of it. Like, I think you can trade either one of those in and out. I don't think it's crazy either way. The fact that one of them won a title last year and one of them was struggling to make the playoffs with LeBron would probably be a reason why SGA would win that.
See, is LeBron even a top 10 player at this point?
It doesn't matter. It's still a great player to have on your team. Like, you could say they don't have a center and the coach was questionable. There's a lot of other things. LeBron would not be the person that I would question in that.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you just say Luka's at In and Out? Hey, see you tomorrow.
See you guys.
See you tomorrow, guys. Welcome into Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patrick Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on SI. Text line's open 512-222-9328. And of course, the chat is open Facebook, Twitch, X, and on YouTube if you'd like to join the conversation. And Joe says Wemby hasn't done anything yet. He isn't top 10. He has done things. Defensively, his numbers are insane. Like, his defensive numbers are ridiculous. Because even half a season defensive numbers, he was leading in blocks till almost the very end of the season, and he missed half a season. So, like, his numbers are insane defensively, but offensively, it's got to get back up there. It would help if he had some other help that was really going to play at a higher level. Now we'll see with De'Aaron Fox, if Steph Castle gets better with another year, how Dylan Harper works into that system, how those 3 guards can help you out. I would love to have a wing. I'd love for Jeremy Sohan to not be in the NBA anymore. I still am not a Jeremy Sohan fan after all of these years. It never won me over. But yeah, I think Wemby by the end of the season could easily be a top 10 player in the NBA. If he plays an entire season, it's very believable what he's able to do is there. He hasn't played a full season. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah, I agree. If he stays healthy, he's going to be there for the entire. He's going to be in the top 10. I kind of want to bring up my favorite sports story of the week real quick because I don't think we're going to talk about it, Patrick. So I think this would be a fun way to start the show. I literally just saw this while I was in the waiting room while watching Chip and Zay. The Buccaneers have a secret weapon to stop the tush push this week.
I saw this. I did see this. Yes,
the Buccaneers have signed Desmond Watson, who they dropped earlier in the year before the season started. Desmond Watson is 6 foot. I think hold on, 6'5" or 6 foot. Let's see. It doesn't say his height. 464 pounds at defensive tackle. He was at Florida last year. They're going to put him next to Vita Vea whenever Philadelphia does the tush push. This is the same guy that they cut from their team because he was too fat. They wouldn't even let him practice until he lost weight, and he was just walking around during practice, not doing a thing. And they think that guy is going to stop the tush push.
Look, they're trying whatever they're trying. I love it. I love that they're trying something to just stop it, and then you're just going to get fat guys as tush push stoppers if it works. I know now the conspiracy theory is that they're false starting and offsides and all of that other stuff every single time they do it. And there's some of the times the false start or the offsides one is really misleading because where the camera is on all those pictures, because it's behind the Eagles line, it's behind them, and it's not on top of them. If it was on top of them, it'll look different, but because of the image. But the false start, they did do it once. They got away with one of them. But the reality is they're just really good at that one play, and they practice it a ton, and no one else wants to practice it a ton because you're going to injure your quarterback.
Well, okay, here's my thing. I think that the rule, and I maybe I'm wrong, but I think that the rule is that every offensive lineman has to line up behind the football, except like even the center. Like your guards can't be up on the football even if they're not over the line of scrimmage. And the Eagles players are lining up alongside the football. At least one or two of them is. Maybe it's the guards. So technically it is that they're in the neutral zone. They're not allowed to be there.
Yeah.
And they're just not calling it. The other good argument that I heard as well is that you're not allowed to push players up front on the defensive side in order to get penetration.
Yeah.
So it should be the same on the other side of the ball. And technically you're not allowed to like push a running back into the end zone apparently. But they let it slide anyway. I think it's finally going to get banned after this season. I really do, because it seems like it's trending that way. But
I'll say this. I don't think it is, because scoring is down more than it's ever been. And I don't think they're going to do anything to stop the offenses, like in general. I don't think they want to stop offenses. I get that play is not fun except for people in Philly, but I think they will make more rules to make the offense more potent, because every time they make the offense more potent and take rules to make it, the defenses catch up. And I don't know if it's a problem that offensive lines are just not around anymore. Like there's not enough good offensive linemen to make a NFL season work. I don't know if it's because the injuries are too much for offensive linemen. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know where it is, but scoring keeps going down, and it shouldn't. Like they continue to make rules and make it harder and harder on the defense, and then it'll like scoring will spike, and then it'll go back down again. And right now, defenses are winning again in the NFL. And so, we do see some teams scoring. Like, Baltimore, it's clearly not winning. The Baltimore stats, I think Lebitard was putting those out today or yesterday about Baltimore. And they're like, if you look at the most points given up by any teams, it's all the bottom of the barrel teams and Baltimore. And then all these stats about Baltimore's offense being the most prolific 1 and 2 offense. Like, because they're killing it. The defense is just garbage. So it's an interesting piece. And Roy, no, I cannot do the entire show in Macho Man voice.
Oh yeah, I can't do
only
it.
For special occasions do we do the Macho Man voice. Or if you get me drunk enough at a bar, I'll do it. Those are the two main ways we'll do it about it. And CB, Zay was talking about Wemby. I didn't get excited about Wemby until like right before the draft lottery, and then it was like, all right, I really want the Spurs. And then after the Spurs got the number 1 pick, I was all in. If you remember on Ball Don't Lie, that was a big one of me trying to teach Rod and Harge how to say Wembanyama. We're trying to learn the lessons on that. We created the win list for Wembanyama. We were trying to, go down and not get the game. So, he was a talked about enough prospect, but was still under the radar until he started to come in. And then it was like, all right, this is the biggest prospect. And they kind of hype everybody. I mean, Cooper Flagg is now the biggest prospect since whoever else. It kind of goes, and we'll see where he ends up with Dallas and how well he does.
He'll get traded after like 5 or 6 years and maybe get.
I don't know if I even saw this proposal for NBA conferences split by big markets versus small medium markets. I would not be a fan of that. Keep it geographical.
Yeah.
I keep it geographical. I get it's weird because it's all East and West, and I get all that, but I keep it geographical. Like there's a salary cap. There's a salary cap for a reason. If you want to make it more fair, if you want to make it that way, shrink the salary, like put an actual cap on it, lower down. They kind of already did with the new CBA rules. They made it more of a rule which only one guy really hates now. I think the Clippers probably hate it too. Steve Ballmer probably hates it, but the Knicks hate it because they finally got good, and then they're like, well, we have the money. We could spend another $50 million to win a title. Like, it wouldn't bother us. All the years they didn't spend money were awful, and so now they're mad because there's a salary cap and they're not allowed to do it. So, but I know, keep it like we said that it's in conference realignment for football. Which, by the way, every single time I keep hearing that NIL and transfer portal are ruining football, I want to be like, just to let you know, also realignment is not helping, and realignment is nothing to do with the kids. Absolutely nothing to do with them. Realignment has to do with the adults in the room taking more money. So everybody is messing up college football for money. Everyone. It is not a kid or adult centric thing. Everybody's ruining it. Don't worry. It's America. We can all ruin everything. That's the American way. Oh. Yeah, the snapping to Slim Jim too. Matt, do you know the story when Macho Man went to WCW? He brought the Slim Jim endorsement with him. So they were like, we paid him like $500,000 a year, and the Slim Jim endorsement was like $750,000 a year. So we made money by hiring Macho Man when he came over. It's like it was the best thing possible. Like we actually crazy. They're like it was a real easy decision to bring him in, and it's also one of the reasons why people think Vince McMahon was so mad at him, because like at the time WWE was still kind of struggling, and then to lose a massive endorsement that was like a ton of money every year, it's like, damn it, dude, can't be doing that to us. So all the fun stuff about wrestling back in the day, those stories are always crazy to me. I love them. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for basketball season to come up. By the way, I saw what the Spurs announcement was. I think they just bought a clothing brand that was already existed. They just merged with them or bought them. It's another one of those ones that was not great. Yes, the WCW was extremely poorly run pretty much the entire time it was there. There was like 2 good years of it that were really fun. Everyone's like, it wasn't so bad. It was like 2 good years. But there's so many stories about it now and so much stuff out there. And you're going to see like everyone's just like, it was that guy. It was that guy. And then that guy comes out and goes, no, actually, it was this guy over here. It wasn't me. So interesting stuff. Let's get into a little Texas football talk, Matt. Kick off the show. A lot to get into today. We'll get into our SEC power rankings a little bit later. Right about 5:05, we'll get into our SEC power rankings. We're going to make our picks for the weekend about 5:30 because Matt is off tomorrow. We'll have Steven from Fanatic Perspective coming on the show tomorrow to fill in. But since that, we will make our picks, which we did not do well last week. So we will make those picks. And then we'll also be reassessing our college football playoff projections. I looked at what mine were. I had K-State. So I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb that I will not be perfect in my college football playoff projections with Clemson and K-State in there. Something tells me K-State's not rebounding to win the Big 12. I don't know. I'm just guessing they're not going to rebound and win the Big 12 and get in.
Yeah, I believe I had Clemson in the national championship game. So we're gonna have to do. We did some reassessing. I think we're gonna be a little bit more accurate this time.
I thought it'd be fun. We'll live with it that we were wrong at the beginning of the season. We're not trying to deny it, but I thought we'd try and take another stab at it now, and then we'll be wrong on that.
I think we should probably do it like every 4 weeks. You know,
exactly.
I was like, give us like a little like some opportunities to readjust and reassess every few weeks.
Exactly. I'm on board with that. Just I think when's our next bye week?
Before Georgia.
So maybe we'll do it then. I think it's in 5 weeks, but we'll do it. We may do it again before Georgia. We may wait 5 weeks and then do it. But we'll figure it out. We may wait till our next bye week and be like, well, we were all wrong again, guys. Joe, what's going on with the new arena? I think there's still a vote, but I know the new mayor is she wants it to be more transparent, and it doesn't seem like it's a terrible deal. I haven't done a ton of research into it about the new arena over at Hemisphere Plaza. Sorry, that one we're trying to show. I don't know too much about it, but I know that it should be built. They're going to build the new place. There's no way the city of San Antonio doesn't vote for it. So Like, you can put up for a vote and everything else, and they can be like, well, we don't want to spend them. The city of San Antonio will support the Spurs. Wimby's there. Tim's still around. David's still around. Like that, it's so ingrained. They'll be fine. And it's not a crazy amount of money that they're charging. It's not in a bad place. And yes, CB, you're right. I think I saw it from you too. I think I saw it from you too, CB. So I appreciate it. CB is always the greatest honorary producer in the history of Austin radio, sports radio forever. Yeah. And you thought Klubnik, yeah. A lot of us had Klubnik winning the Heisman as well. So all of us in our Clemson predictions, Dabo just making us look like real stupid. And the Alamo Dome, CB, I know you're not in town anymore. The Alamo Dome is not a place you want to go to a bunch of games. I went there a bunch when I was younger, and it is run down now. It's going to be weird. Paul McCartney's playing there. I'm like, dude, it's going to be weird. The amount, like, how much money it's going to cost to go see Paul McCartney, and then, like, just be like, oh, 7 of the 8 toilets in this bathroom don't work, and we're not fixing them. And then, like, having a drink stand, like just a stand set up next to where the stand should be with it like closed because it's too run down and nasty, so they can't open it because it doesn't pass like the restrictions. So they can't open where they're supposed to be. There's just too much of that stuff at the Alamo Dome now. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe they've cleaned it up a little bit since the last time I was there, but I always wanted a football team there. Always wanted a football team in San Antonio. I thought it'd be really cool to get a football team there. They'd support it. Jerry would never allow it. But, you know, maybe when he dies, there'll be a football team, an NFL team in San Antonio. But he just never allowed it because he didn't want to lose that city. All right, Matt. Let's get into a little bit of Texas talk. I wanted to get into kind of looking at the bye week, what Texas can do and what they need to fix, what they're trying to fix over this bye week, some issues they need to work on. So we'd start with our confidence in position groups and kind of grade out where we think certain position groups should be put. You know, the ones we're most confident about, least confident about. So we're not even grading them necessarily on how great they are. We're grading them on our confidence level because I think that kind of changes it a little bit of like the running back room hasn't been what it needs to be yet, but my confidence in the running back room is still pretty high. So I think that if I'm grading the running back room, it's probably a lower grade than what it will be because of the injuries, right? So let's start. We'll start with the running back room since we're talking about it. We'll start with the running back room. And Matt, what is your confidence level? If you had to grade it, what's your confidence level? Actually, we won't even go letter grades. We'll go numbers. We'll go 1 through 10. Your confidence grade for this Texas running back room. We know the injuries have been a little concerning. Jarrett Gibson had a fumble again early the season. He picked it back up, played a little bit better. You feel like you got some young guys who can play, but no explosive plays have happened yet through that run game. No touchdowns have been able to be scored out of that run game yet. So there may be a little bit of worry, but as CB saying, Wisner posted on Instagram teasing his return. You're expecting to get Baxter back as well to have your two main backs back. Then spelled by some other good players. Where do you like to go with that running back room grade?
This is complicated for me because I think a lot of it has to do with the offensive line.
Yeah.
And one rushing touchdown on the season by a running back is not necessarily inspire confidence so far. But I'm going to say probably a 7.5 out of 10. They have 2 really good running backs that have a potential to be very, very impactful players. Jarrett Gibson can be an impact player as well. So all 5 of those guys can really be impact players if they get the ball in their hands. And you throw Ryan Niblett into that group if he's going to line up in the backfield a couple times. I'm going to say 7.5. I think that they're going to have a nice bounce back this week. You know, I know it's been tough to run against Florida and just offensively against Florida so far this season, but I think they're going to have some success.
Yeah, I'm going to put the running back room at an 8. I'm right by you, 7.5, 8. I think it's right there. Of the confidence I have in the unit is pretty large. I think they're going to get the job done. There is a little bit. Most of my trepidation is about injuries. Can these guys stay on the field for the entirety of the season, or do we get to a point where it becomes we're just switching guys and we're not quite sure where they are? But I'm pretty confident in a lot than what they do. Rodney, I will say this real quick too. They do want a new arena. The reason why, the main reason, first of all, the arena started, I think, early 2000s. I believe it was still when I was young enough. So I think it was still in the early 2000s. So maybe in late 90s, but I think early 2000s. And the big reason is they built the Moody Center, and now they're losing a ton of artists to the Moody Center. So they're losing all these people to go that'd rather go there than go to like this off the beaten path AT&T Stadium arena. And so they can't really grow it to the way they need to make it state of the art because the technology just improves so much. So that's kind of one of the big reasons they want a new one is they just can't compete with the Moody Center. And it's costing them tons and tons of music and bands and everything else that will come here. It's going to be a battle forever between Austin and San Antonio in those things because both of them want to bring that stuff in. But that's one of the big reasons. And then, you know, you always want state-of-the-art stuff, and they've come up with a lot in the last 25 years. So that's another reason why they want to build another one. But they want to build it downtown and build out a whole complex. And that's also kind of a big thing in sports now is the complex, where you're now not just the arena, you have all the stuff around it you can profit off of too. That's a really big thing. That was one of the pieces Mark Cuban said why he sold the Mavs was because they were like, we need a new arena, and that's supposed to be a complex now. And I don't know how to do that. So either I have to bring on a partner that I don't necessarily trust, or I can just sell the team. So that's the new kind of thing. Everybody's trying to make those complexes now. LA was one of the first, Kroenke buying that whole plot of land in LA and everything they built out there. And so now that's a new idea in sports ownership is build complexes, but that's why they're trying to do it down there at Hemisphere. Grow it bigger than just the Spurs and owning a team. You own a giant area and you just more and more money. All right. Let's go to the next position group here, Matt. Let's go the wide receiver room, right? Wide receivers, again, injuries. Ryan Wingo, we saw him finally step up a little bit in that last game, have a good game. DeAndre Moore coming back from injury. He looked really good. We still don't know Emmett Mosley. Maybe after a bye week, he'll finally be able to enter a lineup. We expect things out of him, but he just hasn't been able to get on the field. Parker Livingstone has been a huge addition. They got some young guys as well. But there were some struggles earlier. There are some struggles earlier in the season. So where do you grade this wide receiver room? And by the way, feel free to chime in on the chat of the text line as well if you've got grades for these places.
I'm at an 8 here. I think that I saw some stuff last week that really gave me confidence in their connection with Arch Manning. I think Ryan Wingo is going to break out and be one of the better wide receivers in the SEC by the end of the year. When you get Emmett Mosley back, that's going to be huge. I think Dalen McCutcheon's going to be coming along nicely. DeAndre Moore is doing really good things. Parker Livingston's been better than I thought he was going to be so far this year. So, I'm really confident in this group. I'm going to give it an 8.
My confidence, I'm going to go with 8 as well. Emmett Mosley, I really want to see him show up because if he does, it probably goes up even higher. I need to see the Ryan Wingo Arch connection a couple more times before my confidence actually gets that level to be like, oh, we have a number one against a good defense. So I'm not going to overrate them because of 1 week, but I do think that DeAndre Moore coming back was a big piece of that as well. So I'm going to go with an 8 on that one. Let's go. Let's not avoid it anymore. Your quarterback room confidence level. 3 weeks of struggles, 1 very well warranted. Ohio State was warranted. First game, huge game on the road, great defense. Somewhat warranted on that to have a bad game. Then 2 weeks with no warrant, should have been able to play much better. Then a week against Sam Houston, where it looked like the Arch we all wanted to see.
I don't think that Arch struggled against San Jose State.
I think he definitely had the.
He could have played better.
I think he had the ip still. Like he still threw balls in the ground.
A couple, but I thought he played pretty well that week, and I thought he played good against Ohio State in the second half.
I think he played better. I agree. He played better in some of those, but I still think just mechanically and everything else we saw of him, he still had that lingering issue that he did not seem to have in Sam Houston as much.
Yeah. Hot take. I know. Me and my Texas quarterback hot takes. My confidence level is a 10 out of 10 with Arch.
10 out of 10.
Based on the film that I watched against Sam Houston, and everybody, oh, it's just Sam Houston. No, stop it. It was all about the timing. It was all about the chemistry, the anticipation, the patience, everything that I needed to see from Arch Manning, I saw. Actually, I'm going to go with a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm going to take off that 0.5 because I want to see how he reacts on the road at Florida.
Yes.
I think he's going to play really well against Florida. I don't think he's going to put up 350 yards and 6 touchdowns or something like that. But I think he's going to play on time. I think he's not going to have the yips or the mechanical issues or anything like that. I think he's found his swagger, and I think he's going to play well, and I'm very, very confident in him going forward.
Rosterman, this week against Florida. Sorry, next week against Florida. That's when we're expecting both our running backs back. So I'll be Trey Wisner will be really surprising if he's not back. But CJ Baxter, I believe, will be back as well. I think that both of them, if you really, really needed them last week, I think they could have both played. But
yeah, I saw CJ Baxter jogging off the field after Sam Houston State. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll both be fine. And yeah, the quarterback room, I'm going to give it a 7. I get that that's a little lower. I want to see him against really good defenses. And it's not even really a shot at Arch. It's basically the confidence I would have told you before the season of having a quarterback who has not seen a great defense yet. He's now seen one. He's seen Ohio State. It's just going to take time for him to see all those looks. So I'm not going to be overly expecting him to be able to walk out against Florida and put in 3 touchdowns. I'm like, if you get 2, we probably win the game. If you get 2 and the running backs get 1, we can win the game. 21 points, I think, against Florida. But I don't necessarily expect him to just dominate and be that guy coming in, week out. So I'm not going to put that at 9.5. I do have confidence that it'll be good, but I think there will still be plenty of struggles that come through the season because it is the SEC. Because those guys come out and come after you. I think when there's more game film on him playing well, that at the end of the season, you will see better players against him and people starting to pick up on the things he does. So I think all of that will be really good. And then we talk about the backups there. CB mentions Owens announced he's transferring at the end of the season. I think he's going to sit there and do his job and be there and stay at Texas. But yeah, I think at the end of the season, unless he just wants a Texas degree, then he knows he's never going to play here.
Yeah, probably that window right before the college football playoff would be my guess.
So, and no hard feelings. If I go, I want you to succeed. And
also the other thing is not only are you going to have Arch again as the starter next year, Diabell's coming in. KJ Lacey's already ahead of you. You're going to be 4th string again. Just go play football somewhere else, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. And as far as rushing Baxter back, I don't think they're rushing him back. I think they already have been slow with him coming back. So if there was a game this week, maybe that's the one you sit him out, but there's a bye week. I don't think there's any issue of either one of them being ready to come back. We'll see. We'll see if they're even listed on the report next week. Yeah. That'll be the big piece, if they're even listed.
I'll say this. I think Baxter could have come back against UTEP if he needed to, and he could have played against Sam Houston if they needed him to. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
No, it felt more of, we feel confident without you guys. We know it's a really, really long season, so why don't we just get you 100% healthy? So I think holding him out anymore is just kind of getting more rust on him than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And love Trey. Wish him nothing but the best. But it does not feel like, unless there's some injury we don't know about, then he just lost out on the jobs He lost out to KJ Lacey. Matthew Caldwell, seeing what all these like smaller divisions quarterbacks are doing when they come up to D1 and they start killing, you're like, oh, of course a guy from Troy is going to be really good in a good system with good players around him. So that one doesn't surprise me as much, that he came into this knowing how to win a quarterback competition, knowing what Sark wanted to see, knowing how to do the things to give him that confidence. That doesn't really surprise me. We just didn't think he was going to be good enough. But I think there's definitely a reason they brought him in when they did, and they scouted him well enough that they feel good about him. He looked good in the couple games he's played already. So he doesn't leave me any different confidence as well. And then KJ Lacey, we're excited to see what he can do. I wish he could have played a little bit more during the non-conference, and hope maybe a Mississippi State or Kentucky that you get out to a big lead and let him come in for a little bit. But we will see about that. I saw a thing with Mac Brown talking about that on his podcast with Bob Ballou, basically saying, if I would have known what I know now, I would have played Garrett Gilbert more.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we probably would have won a title with him if I would have played him more, but Colt wanted to win a Heisman, and I was trying to get Colt a Heisman, so I wasn't taking him out of games. I was letting him run up his numbers. So I get why he did what he did. It makes sense in the grand scheme of things, but that is that piece where you just kind of wish KJ Lacey could have gotten a little bit more playing time.
He still might. He still might.
Over on the text line, Matt Chan says, what with the upcoming Florida game, their defense is faster and the windows of error will be severely narrowed, less time to make decisions in the pocket as well. Also, the O-line is still suspect. He's questioning he has the quarterback rating as a 6, I believe. Quarterback. Chan is a little bit of a warrior. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Chan's been a listener for a long time. We appreciate Chan. So
look, I think that everybody's worries are warranted. I'm not trying to take away anything from that whatsoever. The question is not how confident am I with Arch against Florida specifically. It's how confident am I in Arch going forward for the rest of the season. And I think that Arch is going to continue to get better and better and better as the season goes on. So I'm very confident that by the time, we get to post second bye week, that he's going to find himself positioned as one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And Rosterman, I do not believe that's the case. I believe our team as a whole is much better than Florida State 2 years ago with Jordan Travis on it. And I think that Sark's system will work with some of these other guys to get you at least a little bit. Plus, you got to mention our defense is super legit too. I know Florida State's defense was pretty good that year, but we just got to score a couple touchdowns. So I don't think it would kill us, but it wouldn't be good. And great, I get with that. But I do think there's some difference in there between how reliant they were on Jordan Travis 2 years ago.
Agreed.
All right. Now let's hit that tight end room, Matt. Tight end room. We know Jack Henry's played a little bit. He looked pretty good in what he did. We're starting to see maybe the deepest tight end room Texas has had in a while. We feel like multiple guys could be getting in. We feel pretty good about Jack Henry's. What's your confidence level in the tight end room?
I think it's about a 9. Every single one of these guys has a specific skill set that helps Texas out in a different way. They can play multiple guys. All of them can have impacts. Nick Townsend, I believe, will be an NFL player. Jack Endries will be an NFL player. Jordan Washington might be an NFL player. Spencer Shannon is great run blocking. I think he's going to develop his pass catching ability. And Amari Winston is going to be a really good player for this team for a long time. So I'm really confident in this room for multiple years.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, I have a 9 too for them. The confidence, like the fact that they felt pretty good pulling Jack Endries out of, just being all ready and be like, let's go try out some of these younger guys, tells me all I need to hear about it, that they feel really, really confident in Jack Endries, what he can do. And so I think when he starts playing some more snaps, he's more in there, we will see him and Arch start to connect a little bit more when they're not so desperately trying to force the ball to Ryan Wingo and really drawing up a lot of plays to get the ball to Ryan Wingo. I think we'll see maybe Jack Endries climb up in that chart a little bit more and get some more passes. So I'm excited about that tight end room. And yeah, the depth on it. Spencer Shannon's been doing awesome in blocking. And then, yeah, Jordan Washington as well. Townsend, like everybody on that wide receiver room just feels like, all right, these guys can all play some football. And hell, Emery Winston seems like he's going to be good. Like, we just haven't seen a ton, but, you know, you hear stuff about him too. So I'm like, that tight end room, probably my highest rated room of anywhere, because it's not going to be our next offensive line room, our next position group, which is the offensive line. That room is not going to be there. What is your confidence grade in the offensive line, Matt?
This is so after week 1 against Ohio State, I said this might be the room that I feel the best about of every position group on this Texas team right now on offense. Now it's about a 5. They struggled against UTEP. They struggled against San Jose State. I thought they did different things with Sam Houston that really helped out, specifically with the inside run game. But I still need to see what this team does in terms of not only blocking against Florida before I feel confident in them again, but also with the penalties. That's a big point of concern for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I might even give them a 4. Like, because it's not their grade; they're graded higher than that. My confidence in the season once we get to SEC play and the bigger teams, and you know, maybe they'll play better against bigger teams. That's my hope. Is that once you get rid of kind of the swatting gnat that they're not built to defend as well much about, because you know the reality is you build an offensive line to play against the SEC teams. And so a UTEP is going to come at you. They did better against a big offensive line at Ohio State than they did against some of these smaller offensive lines that are much quicker in trying to get around you. The question is, are these other teams going to be able to utilize linebackers to replicate that to come after you? And so if they just try and play their game, you might have a shot. But if they realize you don't have the mobility on your offensive line to get that done, and you don't necessarily have the push, I don't expect that to even come this season, really, to get that big push in the red zone. I can't just say I have confidence that you're going to be able to go. And that's the reality. Is we're talking about in the bye week what you can work on. Man, it's that red zone. You have to figure out how to score in the red zone. Maybe look, they've worked on it all off season. We all know that this is a major point of emphasis for Texas for the last 2 seasons. I have to imagine Sark has some more things in his playbook other than what we've seen in the first 4 weeks. But, man, the run game in the red zone is awful through 4 weeks. And you have to have some part of run game in this to continue to be able to run Arch on the outside. Because once that goes away and the play action doesn't work because they know you're not handing it off, I don't know what you can do. And so that to me is the real worry with this offensive line. They have to be able to help the running backs get some yardage in the red zone, a push, a hole, something other than just everybody trying to not screw up. You need some guys to step up and go above and beyond. And just right now, it feels like everyone's trying to not screw up their part. And that's not a cohesive, good offensive line when no one can help anybody else. No one can help make them play better. Just going, at least my guy's not making the tackle. That's not great.
You know, one thing that I would be interested to see with this offensive line, I don't think they're necessarily going to do it yet, but it's something that to just kind of keep in the back of your head if they continue to struggle. If Connor Stroh continues to struggle at left guard,
yeah,
I wouldn't, like, based on the way that Connor Robertson played after his 2 penalties against Sam Houston,
yeah,
I'd be interested to see Connor Robertson go in there at center and kicking Cole Hudson to left guard. Maybe that can help solve some issues. I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's just something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, we could see that. We could see Connor Robertson jump over to left guard. I mean, I don't you could see, I know Sark talked about it, that they've been cross-training all of their offensive linemen, basically, especially on the interior, cross-training everybody. So you could see things move around for sure on that left side of the offensive line. You know, DJ's going to be there, and Baker seems like he's going to be there because, you know, you don't really have another guy to put over there. But it does feel like the left side, that left guard center position could be of the interior line, could definitely be something. Let's hit that defense real quick, Matt. Let's go the edge room. Where are you at on this edge room? What is your confidence? Didn't get the sacks early, feel a little bit better. What do you think about this edge room?
I mean, I'm at a 10 out of 10 on the edge room. I just think that they really haven't had the opportunities through the first, or they didn't have the opportunities through the first 3 weeks to get a lot of sacks because it was a lot of get the ball out of the quarterback hands quickly, so that they can't come after you. And Phil Longo made the monumental dumb mistake of the century by playing his game with Sam Houston against Texas, and they paid the price for it. And I think that, it's not going to be dumb for other SEC teams to do that against Texas, because they need to be confident in their ability to play their own game if they're going to win in the SEC all season long. So I just think you're going to see this edge room start to get some more opportunities and take advantage of it, especially if they play Trey Moore on the edge a lot more. So yeah, I'm really confident in that.
Yeah, I'm a 9 on that one. They've been I know what they've got in that room. I'm not overly worried about them not being great early. I think they're just going to be fine. I find it hard to believe there's not, guys have already stepped up. It just feels like that edge room. I got plenty of confidence in that edge room. Let's say that. Again, their grade so far this season, not a 9, not a 10. Our confidence in them, our confidence grade in this edge room is a 10 and a 9 so far this season. Interior defensive line, where's your confidence level? This one was a question mark before the season. We felt good about the depth, maybe not the top of line play. I think that's probably gotten a little bit better too. What's your confidence on the interior defensive line?
I'm at a 9 for the interior. I think they've played well all season long. I think Murad Watson is a dude. Alex January has been really, really good when he's been in there. Cole Brevard has been good. Travis Shaw's been, everybody they've put out there has been good. And I don't see any reason that's going to change. It might be the most reliable group that we've seen on the defense so far. Outside of the linebackers, maybe you could have that conversation, but it's been really good. I expect it to continue to be good. I'm at a 9.
Yeah, I'm at a 9 too. There's no reason to not believe that somebody will be able to fill these gaps and do what they need to do. There's guys that have already started to step up. I think it'll be Alex January coming back, and I think all of those pieces make everything where I'm really confident in that interior defensive line. Linebacker core, where are you at on linebackers?
10. It's the best linebacker group in the country.
This one seems pretty easy, doesn't it, Matt? It's a 10.
Yeah, I mean, you could have the conversation that LSU, with the Weeks brothers is up there, or you could talk about Ohio State, who are really, really good. Some of the other ones in the SEC, but it's really hard for me to pick Texas as anything but the best linebacker group in the country right now.
Just watching Carlos Correa fall on a field that should not be being used in MLB play. So they play the Athletics because they don't have a city right now. But the Astros are up 9-1. So hopefully Carlos Correa is fine and not hurt, because we can't have any more injuries. Granted, our season could only be this game and 3 more. The Astros trying to blow it big here at the end of the season. Killing me.
The sooner baseball is over, the better.
Ah, man, come on now.
Because when baseball ends, that means basketball starts.
They're not interconnected. Baseball will be over at the same time, no matter what. The question is how much I care about it. That is the question. How much I care about it in the playoffs. How about that DB room? I'm separating DBs and safeties, Matt.
Corners, I'm at about an 8. I'm really confident in Manny Muhammad, and I'm really confident in Jalen Gilbo so far. My question is, if one of those guys goes down, can it be at the same level? Overall, I'm pretty confident, so I'm going to give it an 8. We know what they can do. They've been really good so far. Jalen Gilbo's given up a single touchdown, I think, this year, and it was on a crazy catch by Carnell Tate. So, it's just a matter of reliable depth for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. 8 there as well. And then the safety room. How do you feel about the safety room?
I'm at a 9 with the safety room. We know what Michael Taaffe is. We know what Jelani McDonald is. Actually, we don't even know what Jelani McDonald is because he gets better and better every single week.
Yeah.
Derek Williams has been good since he's been back. There's depth there with. I'm going to put Grayson Littleton at star in this conversation as well. He's been really good. There's quality depth there. There's superstar talent there with Jelani McDonald and Michael Taaffe. It's a 9.
Nice. Yeah, I have a 10 on the safeties. I have plenty of confidence in them. There's that delay makers and safeties. I'm just not worried about. I believe our level of play will be good enough. My confidence level there is great. I agree with the DBs. It's like, all right, can we stay healthy and can we stay there? So there's a little lack there. But everything else in that defense, like that's the lowest grade on the defense is an 8. That's pretty good. The offense may be a little bit different. It's a 7.5 on the running back room. There's a 5 and a 4 on the offensive line. So maybe not. Maybe not. Going back over here. CB, yeah, I can imagine. It's been 24 years, I think. 24 years since the Mariners won a pennant. They clinched it last night. So I can imagine they are pretty excited up there for that. I don't know what a Stroh's businessman's lunch is. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a way to avoid work. Sounds like a way.
Sounds like a bunch of guys in the oil industry getting together to drink beers and watch the Astros.
Can't go wrong with that one. And then we've talked about this a little bit. Matt has a prediction that he will never play baseball again at the University of Texas. This is your prediction, right, Matt?
Yeah. I just think that he's going to be a starter at safety next year, and he's going to have to make a decision. He's not going to be told to make a decision. I just think he's going to make that decision on his own and end up – I mean, granted, it's just a prediction. I don't have any info that's going to be the case. That's just how I feel about it.
I still think he's going to play at least one more year of baseball. Personally, I mean, I get that. I get he probably shouldn't, but I just think he wants to play both, and I find it hard to believe that he got the baseball out of his system this season. I don't know if he got it out of his system or the football. I think he wants to at least play, and I don't think he played enough in baseball last year. And that it may also be the question for baseball, like how much are you relying on Jonah Williams being a part of this roster? Yeah. Is he an everyday player? Is he a once a week player? Because if he's a once a week player, that makes the decision maybe a little bit easier. Like, all right, I get it, but because I can't be there means I have to earn my way back in. I'm not going to play as much baseball as I want. That may make it easier. So the question is going to be, how much is Schlossnagle coming over and going like, dude, we need you. We have to have you on this roster this season. We are not prepared to not have you. Or he and Sark have already talked. He goes, all right, I get it. Listen, I understand. That NIL's coming out of your pocket now. We'll take that. We'll take our baseball NIL money back. That's coming all out of yours.
I think that's a great point too. If he's not an everyday player, it's signed, sealed, and delivered to me that he's a football player, because he's going to start at free safety next year, I think, or field safety for Texas next year, I think.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that one. Let's hit this real quick, Matt. Before we go to break, I want to hit reassessing our college football predictions from earlier. You sent me a graphic. I don't think I sent it to my phone, so let me do that right now. I don't know if I uploaded these, so I can put them up on the screen to make it a little bit easier for you. But if you want to start going through what you had last season.
Yeah. Let me pull mine up again just so I make sure that I don't get this wrong. Okay. So I had Texas number 1. I had Clemson number 2. I had Penn State number 3. I had Notre Dame number 5, Georgia number 4, Notre Dame number 5, Ohio State number 6, LSU 7, Oregon 8, Texas Tech at 9, Texas A&M at 10, Nebraska at 11, and UNLV as the group of 5. That was my bracket. And then I had Notre Dame and Georgia in the quarters, Oregon and Texas in the quarters, LSU and Penn State in the quarters, and Ohio State and Clemson in the quarters. Texas and Georgia in the semifinal, LSU and Clemson in the semifinal, Texas and Clemson in the championship, and Texas winning it all. Yikes.
Oh, come on. Don't say yikes.
Not yikes as in Texas winning. Like yikes as in I had Clemson in the national title game, and they're
look, it was not a terrible
right
prediction at the beginning of the season, I don't think. Make sure I'm pulling up the right one. I've got it on here now. Give me a second. Make sure I'm putting the right one up here. Okay. Believe this is
the correct. That's last year.
Yes,
or
this is last year's for you. Yeah, the
Or-
Clemson's on there. Texas Tech still looks good. Texas Tech, Oregon, Nebraska probably not going to be on there anymore. LSU,
not.
Penn State, Ohio State, A&M is still a reasonable pick. Notre Dame is not going to be on there anymore. So some of these may have fallen off a little bit on your picks.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I started off last year. I had Texas at 1, Clemson at 2, Ohio State at 3, Georgia at 4, Penn State at 5, Notre Dame at 6. So we're already at 2 off. Oregon at 7, Alabama at 8, still believable. Kansas State at 9, no thank you, not going to happen. South Carolina at 10, also not going to happen. SMU at 11, how about not going to happen? And Tulane at 12, could still happen. That one is still believable. Tulane still believable to be in there. It did end up with Texas versus Clemson, I believe, in mine as well. So, yeah, Clemson versus Texas in my game as well. Joe, I'm not okay with using AI to do anything. It will make it. It'll do whatever you ask it to do. You could say Clemson playing for the. Show me a bracket where Clemson. Show me a reason why Clemson should play for the national title, and AI will tell you the way it works. That's the problem. Is you can make AI do what you want to do, and I don't trust these people as far as I can throw them. And I'm not very strong anymore. Here is Matt's predictions for this now. The updated predictions, Matt. Walk us through what you got now. Some of the big changes you made in your rankings.
Okay, I've got Oregon number 1. They've looked like the most complete team in the country to me so far. They have Penn State this weekend, so that's going to tell us a lot. Dante Moore has been incredible so far. So I've got Oregon number 1, Florida State number 2. I think they're going to win the ACC. I don't see them losing another game this year. Georgia, I have at number 3. Again, I just feel like they're kind of the SEC favorite right now. That offense was really, really good against Tennessee. I could expect that to continue. LSU number 4, Ohio State number 5, Miami number 6. I think they play Florida State in the ACC championship, and that'll be a heck of an ACC championship. Texas, I still have making it at number 7. I think they may lose one more game this year to Georgia, probably, if I had to guess. Penn State at 8, Texas A&M I think is just too good to keep out of the debate at this point. Number 9, Texas Tech is going to win the Big 12 at number 10. I've got my Ole Miss Rebels at number 11. I think they're going to beat LSU this weekend, spoiler alert. And they just look really, really good right now. They're a problem. And Memphis is my group of 5. Beating Arkansas, I just don't see them losing another game this year. So.
Yeah, the Memphis Tulane game, right? Memphis and Tulane play at some point this season. We have that correct? That's a big game. Yeah. Because if Tulane beats Memphis, the Ole Miss loss is kind of, to me, like Boise State's last year. They lost to Oregon. They were, it wasn't bad enough for them to get out. So I think they'll let you have that one loss on your record as a group of 5 if you just go in and dominate the rest. But they got to beat Memphis. That'll be the big game there. But yeah, but you have Texas here getting knocked out to FSU.
Yeah. I don't feel great about it, but FSU they're killing everybody right now. They beat the crap out of Alabama. So we'll see what happens with them going forward, but they look really, really good right now. So I think Texas is still a playoff team. I just don't have the confidence in the offense yet to have them getting back to the semis. That could change when we reevaluate in a few weeks, but right now it's just FSU just looks like the better team.
Yeah, so I can tell you on mine, I don't have a fancy graphic for mine. I have fancy graphics for other things, not for mine. I do have my champions I put out first. I have Oregon winning the Big Ten. I have Miami winning the ACC. I have Texas Tech winning the Big 12. I have Tulane as my group of 5 school. I'm going to take them. I'm going to keep them. I'm keeping them because I picked them early. I'm going to stay with them. I'm going to stick with those guys. And I still have Texas winning the SEC championship. Forever an optimist over here. I'm going to go ahead and say Texas gets past, gets through the season. Even if they have one loss, they could still get into the SEC championship with one loss and win the SEC. They did it last year. So even if they lose that Georgia game, they could still be in this conversation as we get later into it. I also have going in Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Florida State, and Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech's season is pretty easily. They can go and lose to Georgia at the end of the season, and if it's a close game, they're a one-loss ACC team that may get in this conversation. So Georgia Tech, I think, is in the conversation. The big problem would be if they get in the ACC championship game and lose that too, because they're undefeated in the ACC play. That would be where the problem arises of them getting in. But I'll put Georgia Tech in there. They're playing really good right now. So I have them in my new listing. Trying not to put all of the SEC teams in. Trying not to just overload SEC teams into this. Because I think it could be a lot, but who knows? As we go in, I do love a couple of things I've set up here. As our first game is LSU versus Tulane, 5 versus 12. I love that matchup. It's just matchups I love now. We get Texas Tech versus Alabama at 6 versus 11. Florida State versus Georgia Tech, 7 versus 10, an ACC matchup there. And number 8, Georgia versus number 9, Penn State. Out of those wins, Oregon now takes on Georgia. Miami takes on Florida State, staying in the ACC over there. Texas takes on Alabama. I know it could be Texas taking on Texas Tech, which would be a really fun matchup as well. But I couldn't let Texas Tech win a playoff game. So I made Alabama win it. So Texas, my predictions. Then I have Ohio State versus LSU. Ohio State winning that one. That gives us Oregon versus Ohio State as your 1-4 game. And then Florida State advancing to play Texas in the semifinals. So I have Texas versus Florida State there. And then Texas and Ohio State winning. And the game that started it all, finishes it all, Texas versus Ohio State to finish the season.
And who do you have winning?
Of course, Texas. Come on.
Okay.
Come
All
on.
right. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'm just being cautiously optimistic about Texas.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Joe, Texas defeats Texas Tech, FSU, Georgia, and Oregon, and Arch goes to the NFL. I think 4 of those things are possible. I think they could beat Texas Tech. I think they could beat Florida State. I think they could beat Georgia. And I think they could beat Oregon. Oregon is probably the one that I'd be least confident about them beating, but I think they could do it. I think they can beat anybody. But Arch isn't going to the NFL. It's not happening. So
no, especially after the beginning of the season. Even if he does great the rest of the year, I still think. You know what, Joe? Next time I'll have a chart for you. Next time I'll have a fancy graphic.
I had this thing already made from earlier in the year, so I just edited it and I had it ready to go. I didn't expect Patrick to have
You know what, Joe? I'll make a fancier one next time. I'll be even fancier. Put logos in there and stuff. We'll fancy it up. I shouldn't be promising things I don't want to actually do the work for. But I do have the predictions now. I will make sure to save these as well. And we will have our predictions ready. And yeah, Chan, severe Longhorn homerism. I'm being an optimist here, especially once I saw Matt was not taking Texas. I'm like, all right, let's one of us be a homer in this one, and take Texas. I can tell you, like after Penn State, Oregon may move up higher on that list. Once we get a few more weeks into FSU season and people actually know what FSU is doing now, I think things could change in that. I think there's a lot of places that could alter in the next few weeks.
Sure.
And like what Texas does in the next 3 weeks, the next 2 games, huge impact on what we're going to say going forward. But what we saw from Texas so far, the defense is a championship roster. The defense is a championship defense. I don't know if the offense is. I think they're going to get better as the season goes on. They have a ton of talent. It's going to be a question of, is the O-line going to hold up enough? And the hope is you're like Notre Dame last year. Not Notre Dame this year. Notre Dame last year, where that offensive line was straight garbage to start the season. And then they played for a national title. That offensive line got much, much better. They ran the ball better, did everything better. So that's the hope, is that Kyle Flood has all the work in the world in front of him to get this offensive line, but they figure out the combinations. The confidence rises in that offensive line. I think that's a really big piece of it as well, is if they can just build up a little confidence, because again, it's hard to build up confidence really against some of these smaller teams, because if you are pushing them around, you're like, yeah, I'm pushing around a guy who weighs 100 less pounds than me. Cool. That's not going to, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be there. So I think as they go and they play Florida, who has some big dogs, and then you play Oklahoma, and they got some big boys too, I think that'll push you a little bit more to, if you can play well against those guys, your confidence starts to go up. And now maybe you're not every snap freaking out on the line of scrimmage going, I'm the one who's going to get arch killed. They're gonna string me up when we get back to Texas because I got arch killed. And I can't, nobody wants to be the guy who gets arch killed. So we will see as that goes on what we think happens there. I mean, I think the confidence go up. That's my hope, at least. But there is our little bit of added, or a little bit of updated college football playoff selections, so we can try and aim forward. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. Let's get into our SEC ratings on the other side here in just about 4 minutes. 5:05 is what we're aiming for to get into our SEC ratings. Our power rankings, we have them from last week. We will get into them and update them after another week of play. And then we got some other talk. We got to make our picks for this weekend because Matt is out on Friday, and we've still got the Jerry Jones Hour. We can't miss the Jerry Jones Hour, so we'll hit that too before we get out of here on a Thursday edition of Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered.
Now, stepping up to the plate is a household name, weighing in at roughly 115 pounds with a wingspan of 98 inches. It's Samsung.
Kid, I know it's baseball season, but this isn't what I meant when I said to incorporate sports into the company commercial.
Sorry, old man. I just want everyone to know that audiovisual consultations can make your home feel like a stadium.
That's true. Audiovisual provides stadium surround sound, huge screen video, controlled lighting, and even temperature control. On our roster, every customer is an MVP.
Sounds like audiovisual knows how to score a home run with our customers.
All right, kid, that's enough with the baseball puns.
But I'm trying to tell everyone that audiovisual is a real catch. You'll glove our services.
Kid?
There's nothing coming out of left field when you give us a call. We won't break your balls.
Kid, we only have a minute.
Pitch, please. I don't need your attitude right now.
Rest assured, listeners, audiovisual is much better at installing and designing custom home theaters than we are at making jokes.
Just check our stats. Give us a call at 512-255-8678 or visit us online at avconsultations.com.
You see covert everywhere. It's that personal level of just feeling like it's a personal family interaction.
The customer service, it's impeccable. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced buying a car.
Over the 30 years that I've been buying cars from them, I feel like I know them and they know me.
Covert's done an amazing job of making me feel valued. If you purchase a vehicle and you want to feel like you're part of a family, join the Covert family.
Come and experience it for yourself.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
BK here for OLIPOP. Man, this stuff is the game changer of all game changers. Their slogan is a new kind of soda, and that's exactly what it is. You get that same great soda taste, but OLIPOP is actually good for you. Inside of every can, a blend of 7 unique botanicals, plant fibers, and prebiotics. You're getting 9 grams of fiber in every can, only 2 to 5 grams of sugar, and man, the flavor is absolutely there. Classic soda flavors like cola, root beer, lemon lime, and Dr. Goodwin. That's their version of a Dr. Pepper, and some other great flavors as well. The grape, the cream soda, the cherry cola. It's all fantastic. I'm telling y'all, OLIPOP tastes just like the soda you grew up sipping, but with the added benefits of microbiome and digestive health support as well. Pick up OLIPOP at H-E-B, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, and Costco all throughout the Austin area and the state of Texas. And head over to drinkolipop.com. Use the promo code Texas20 for a discount on your first purchase. It's OLIPOP, a new kind of soda.
Back here on Open Gym on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patter Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on SI. And, of course, you, the third member of Open Gym. Text line's open, 512-222-9328. Or you can hit us up on the chat, Facebook, Twitch, X, and, of course, on YouTube. Make sure to give us a like and a subscribe over there if you have not. Appreciate all y'all joining us on a Thursday edition here of Open Gym. As we get into hour 2 here on the show, a lot to get into, Matt. Power rankings for the SEC, some moves up and down. We've also got to make our picks, and of course, the Jerry Jones Hour coming up. Don't worry, it'll be here. It'll, by popular demand, has to be back every day. But I wanted to get into our SEC power rankings, Matt. We just wrapped up talking about some other college football talk. Let's see where we are at in our power rankings after last week. Here's a graphic for everybody. There's a graphic. This is our power rankings after week 3. We have now hit week 4 of college football, I believe, or we're after week 4 now. So we're going into week 5, if I can know my numbers. But we have seen Georgia took the tier 1. They were the number 1 team. Oklahoma, LSU, Texas A&M in our tier 1. Tennessee, Ole Miss, Missouri, Texas, and Alabama in our tier 2. Tier 3, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. And then, of course, tier 4, Arkansas, Florida, and Kentucky. We were right not to move Arkansas up, Matt. We were correct to not. Correct. We were completely correct to not move up Arkansas at all. They showed us this week that was the right decision to not move them up. But let's start. Let's start to get into this with our SEC power rankings. I try and pull up our scores from last week to give us some a little bit of knowledge into what, or a little bit of a guide to what we're looking at. And Georgia, Georgia was off last week, I believe. Mm-hmm. So we did not see them play. They could stay at that number 1 position. They could move up. They could move down. It does make you feel that Oklahoma maybe didn't look great. They do get that big win over Auburn, 24-17. According to Auburn, had to cheat to do it, but maybe not the powerhouse. Plus, now we know the John Mateer injury, and I get some people still believe they will not believe anything anymore. Doesn't matter. John Mateer, it's Brent Venables trying to get us. I don't think that's the case, but that's just me. We will see in a few weeks. But Oklahoma now with the injury, what does that do to them? LSU beats Southeast Louisiana 56-10. Finally gets that offense rolling, man. All it took was playing Southeast Louisiana. A&M, again, looking like a powerhouse team. In the bye week, they look like they're going to be a powerhouse going forward. They take on Auburn this week. Outside of that, I mean, I don't know what other major pieces you wanted to see out of this to make your decisions. What do you think, Matt? Where do you like, and what do you maybe change a little bit in this SEC power rankings?
I think Georgia deserves to be number 1.
Okay. They don't move down.
I think you just can't move down because of a bye week, in my opinion. Here's my big change.
Okay.
I think Oklahoma drops all the way down to number 9.
To 9?
To 9. And here's why. Because this team has been completely dependent on John Mateer for everything they have been doing offensively. He is their leading rusher. He's obviously their leading passer. He has been Superman for them so far this season. And to sit there and say that they're going to be the same team until he returns would be just completely disingenuous, in my opinion. And granted, like, you can't necessarily fault them for an injury. It's not something that's their fault. It's unfortunate. I wish that he was going to play against Texas. But based on what I've been hearing from people in Oklahoma that I trust, he's not going to be back until South Carolina at the earliest, which means he would miss the Texas game. Even if he comes back against South Carolina, how effective is he going to be? We don't know. And that's just on the optimistic end. He very well could miss that game. And if they don't have him against Lenora Sellers, I don't know that they can win that football game. Ole Miss, even with John Mateer, could beat them. Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU could all beat Oklahoma. So I just think that without John Mateer, it's kind of like the Jordan Travis FSU thing we were talking about earlier. Without him, they are just not the same football team whatsoever. So I got to drop them all the way down. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt because they beat Michigan, and had this not come out about the injury, they would have stayed probably at number 2 for me. But right now, I've got to drop them.
I don't know if I'm going to drop him to 9, though. 9 seems far. Like, I get the injury. I get all of that. But he will be back. He's, even if they drop 2 games because of his injury, I still think they're probably better than a lot of these teams that are up here. So I'd say probably 7 or 8 is where I drop them. I think 9's a little too far. I'm not saying not drop them. Not saying not drop them. I'm saying 9 may be too far to drop them.
Who are they still? Who are they better than, in your opinion?
So if we're dropping them down, I'd say Missouri is the line of, are they better? So now Texas and Alabama may move up above them, but I'm just still not 100% sold on Missouri. So I think that Missouri line for me is like, are they above or below Missouri? And that's kind of the question mark. And so I get that in the SEC, it's hard because all of these teams are really good, but I probably still don't completely kill them off because they're off this week, right? They play Kent State, and so the next 2 weeks they are not moving. They're going to be fine, and they'll win the next week even with Michael Hawkins. They'll be fine. And then they play Texas. So I don't know if I move them down too far because I understand they're not playing anybody for 2 more weeks. So they'll be fine for 2 more weeks.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make the line Missouri, then I'm okay with that.
I'm going to tentatively put them in at 7, and then we will get back to it when we get to 7. All right? No, because we can still move them down.
I'm totally fine with that. Joe, Brent Venables does not speak with a forked tongue. He very well could come out and list John Mateer as a game time decision against Texas, but he's not going to play in that football game. It's not happening.
I do love the speaks of the forked tongue. I don't know what that comes from. I don't know why Brent Venables was lying before. I thought he was a pretty respectable dude. I don't know about, being a great coach, but I don't know where the lying came from. I don't know if that's just because they ran a trick play.
Yeah. I mean, it's the refs that screwed that up, not Brent Venables. They asked if they could run the play. If you want to talk about, what's his name? The coach, it's escaping me. The coach that was there before that's at USC now.
Oh, Lincoln Riley.
If you want to talk about Lincoln Riley speaking with a forked tongue, I'm totally
there. Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm still not buying it, Joe. I get it. But this is that's you trying to project that it's okay for Texas to lose that game. Which is not.
Yeah,
I feel like it's trying to make excuses before we even get there. I think we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And if John Mateer plays, we should win too. So Texas has a good enough team to beat Oklahoma either way. So I'm going to put them at 7. We'll pencil them in at 7. We may move them down, but we'll figure out who's above them first.
Okay. I think LSU should be number 2.
Okay.
They seem like the most complete team in the SEC right now in terms of offense, defense.
Yeah.
Texas A&M at number 3. Even though their defense isn't exactly where I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
If I was Texas A&M, I still think that offense is their offense is the best in the SEC in my opinion. I think you move Ole Miss to number 4.
All right.
And this can be argued if you think Tennessee should be there instead, but I think with Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss is just they're going to be a problem. And I think
they beat a Tulane team 45-10, who I think is miles better than UAB is, who Tennessee beat 56-24. So I'll just put it in that context that I think Ole Miss had a better win this week.
Yeah, and then I'd put Tennessee number 5, and then now we start to have the conversation: is do you move Missouri up to number 6 and put Oklahoma at 8, or do you move Texas up to number 6? Missouri, where do we go from here? Because this is where it gets complicated.
Yeah, I get you. Oh man, because I still feel like Oklahoma deserves some amount of respect.
Well,
but
I'm not.
And I think Missouri does too for being 4-0 for getting a win, conference win over South Carolina. All of that should be noted as well. Alabama probably looks a little bit better. They didn't play this week, so I don't know if they really move up from 9. I think there's like 6 teams at 6. We can't do that. So
here's what I think we should do.
Yes.
This is just my opinion.
Okay.
And we can kind of use this as a baseline.
Yeah.
I think you can't really move Missouri down.
Yeah, because they won.
They beat Lenore Sellers.
Yeah,
he
did.
played in that football game.
Yes, he did.
So I think you put Missouri at 6. I think you put Texas at 7, and you move Oklahoma down to 8.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
By the way, for everybody listening, I do think Texas is much better than Missouri, but we haven't won it 2 weeks. In a couple of weeks, we'll be way higher than them. Don't worry, we'll get there.
and Alabama too. If they beat Georgia this weekend, they're going to skyrocket.
Oh yeah.
The question is, with Alabama, do they still have that mental edge over Georgia? Because they've beaten Georgia 9 out of the last 10 times they played.
Yeah.
So
I'll also say this. I think we also, when we're talking about tiers in this as well, do we cut off that top tier at 3 now?
I think you do. Yeah. If Ole Miss wins this weekend against LSU,
then they jump into it 100%. Yeah.
But until that happens, I think
they haven't played enough people.
Yeah.
So I think
it's the top 3.
Yeah. So top 3. And then that next one is 4 through 9 is that second one. That second tier are all teams that could still win the conference pretty easily. We're not surprised if any one of those teams won the conference. And then we get into tier 3. Auburn still not being able to break through. They lose to Oklahoma, but I don't think they move down necessarily with that loss. I think they played Oklahoma well.
Yeah.
Considering we had them ranked pretty low anyway. Like, because the question is, does Vanderbilt jump them? That's the only team that can jump them, right?
Yeah. I still think they're better than Vanderbilt, so I'm going to say Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of got screwed a little bit in that game, not necessarily from the one play call where they got tricked on, and, we can go into that whole SEC screwed up in it. The refs screwed up in it, but I think the refs, there was a pass interference call later in the game too. There was just enough things in that game where I'm not going to penalize Auburn for being in a game that if things had gone a different way, they would have been fine.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So that puts Auburn at 10. Vanderbilt stays at 11. They had a 70-21 win over Georgia State, so they're doing just fine. Then we get into Mississippi State. They did get a win. They're 4-0, Matt. Mississippi State is 4-0, man. They beat that Northern Illinois team 38-10.
Yeah.
So they get to sit in there. South Carolina may drop more. I don't know if they can drop below some of these other teams. Arkansas loses to Memphis. They could drop. Florida loses to Miami 7-26. They were in that game a little bit, but they lose pretty poorly at the end. So that is that piece. And Kentucky was off last week. So what do you like in those last 4 teams?
I think that they stay the same, but I think that you make South Carolina tier 4 at 13.
Okay.
I think that's the way to do it.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with moving Florida above Arkansas too.
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
I mean, they both lost, but one loss is way, way worse.
Arkansas has an offense. Florida has no offense.
That's true. They do have no offense. All right. That's a good point right there. All right. So that updates us a couple moves around. The Georgia stays where they're at. Oklahoma takes the big drop all the way down to 8, which moves up LSU and Texas A&M in tier 1. Tier 2 grows a little bit more. I'm going to change how I do this graphic because now our left side has lost 2 teams. They're all on the right side now. I have to figure out to redo my whole graphic now. But I can make that work. It needs an updating. So Tennessee, then we go, Tennessee at 5, Ole Miss at 4, Tennessee at 5, Missouri at 6, Texas at 7, Oklahoma at 8, Alabama at 9, all in that tier 2. Then we go with Auburn, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State staying where they're at, but they are now alone in tier 3 as really good. They're playing good football, but not necessarily. We still don't believe they're going to have a chance to win the SEC. Then that schedule is still going to hurt them a lot. Then South Carolina, Arkansas, Florida, and Kentucky, which we all pretty much feel are already eliminated from SEC contention.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go.
All right. Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty solid push there of the SEC power rankings after week 4. If you believe that any of those are wrong or you'd like to see anything changed, throw that in the text line 512-222-9328 or hit us up in the chat and tell us that Oklahoma didn't fall enough. They fell too much. There's another team that should be ranked higher. Is Texas still too low? Do you feel Texas beat Sam Houston, so they should be number 1 now? I don't know. Let us know what you think. Do you want to be as much of a homer as I am? I didn't move them up there. Not that much. I don't think Matt would allow me to do that amount of blatant homerism in a joint power rankings. He might pull the veto card on that one. But we can get into some weekend picks. We may hit a couple other games that are happening this weekend that I didn't make picks for because I felt they were too one-sided. And we'll go over these again somewhat tomorrow as well when I got my man Steven from Fanatic Perspective filling in for Matt. But let's hit some picks now, Matt, as I get our pick board out and see that we both ended up 1-5 last week, Matt. 1-5.
Because I thought I was 0-5, but I forgot about Monday Night Football. Hell yeah, I got to win.
You did, and that puts us I am at 5-23. Really need to start turning this around at some point, or else it's going to get worse and worse, Matt. And that puts you at 11-17, trying to join me in the bottom of the basement. But you can't join me because I keep digging it lower. All right. Let's start off with the Friday night game. We'll start off with the Friday night one, an interesting one in the Big 12. This is a piece of teams trying to compete and stay in that Big 12 title race against the Texas Tech team that looks like they have a pretty easy path to run through. Maybe one of these teams could be someone to try and compete with them. TCU versus Arizona State. TCU is 3-0. Arizona State already has that embarrassing loss to Mississippi State on the roster. Arizona State is favored by 3.5 in this game, though, Matt. Who do you like?
Ooh. I really like Arizona State. I thought that I think that Mississippi State loss was more of an aberration than anything else. I also think that Josh Hoover is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So it's a little bit difficult for me. I'm struggling with it. I'm still trying to decide. Let's see. I feel like I wrote something down here. I did not write anything down because I'm a failure. I'm gonna go with Arizona State. I feel like TCU is due for a loss. And I just, I don't know. At Arizona State is kind of the edge for me. So I'm gonna take Arizona State to win and to cover. I think they win by a touchdown.
Okay. I'm gonna go with TCU. The 3.5 is really where it's at for me. I think this is a pretty evenly matched matchup. I do like Josh Hoover a lot of being smart down the stretch. And I'm just not sure Arizona State is going to be able to control the clock enough to not give Hoover a chance to come back there at the end. If they are down, I think it becomes a field goal game. And so if it's a field goal game, then I'm going to take the points and take TCU. And it can go either way, but it'll be within the number. Let's look over LSU at your alma mater, Ole Miss. This is number 4 versus number 13. Both teams 4-0, starting conference play. trying to get a big win for both teams. This is really the beginning of our SEC schedule really kicking off of a great matchup. LSU and Ole Miss. Ole Miss favored by 1.5 over the number 4 team in the country. So some love there. Plus, we got the whole Lane Kiffin's daughter thing. Wait, Lane had a great response. Do you Lane's response?
I didn't see his response. What did he say?
He tweeted back, "Take the over." Great response from Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, great response. Well, I don't know if anybody saw, but I made a hat change at the break.
Okay. All right. You're in now. You're ready for it.
I'm ready for it. I thought I was going to wear it at the start of the show, but it got delivered like as we were coming on, so I had to wait. I'm taking Ole Miss minus 1.5. I think that they win this football game outright. If it was at LSU, the game would probably be at night, but it's at Ole Miss, so it's at 2:30 in the afternoon, and LSU doesn't have to play a road night game in the SEC. I don't think that's going to matter here. I think Ole Miss gets the win. I think Trinidad Chambliss is a big, big problem. I think that the receiver core for Ole Miss is a problem. Kawan Lacey, the running back, is really, really good. And I don't think that LSU's offense is going to be able to keep up with Ole Miss's offense in this game. So I'm taking the Rebels, and I am hammering that 1.5. Give me the Rebels.
All right. I like that. The 1.5. And I've dogged LSU all off season. I've been anti-LSU and Brian Kelly. The offense has looked horrible against any decent opponent, but they've gotten the wins. They've got it done. Ole Miss's defense has looked questionable against some subpar SEC teams known as Arkansas and Kentucky. And I get Arkansas has a decent, but you should be, Ole Miss defense should be doing better. I'm going to go ahead and give you the win, Matt, by picking LSU to cover in this game. This is a friendly gesture by me that I'm going to pick LSU to get the win. That I think that I picked against LSU a lot. They keep winning. So I'm going to take LSU to cover here and get the win. It's 1.5. I don't think they win by 1. Who knows? Maybe Ole Miss wins by 1 and I still cover. But I'm going to say LSU in this one. The defense is really good. I think it's going to be – I think basically LSU is much more battle-tested than Ole Miss is so far in the season. And so
because they beat a bad Clemson team?
No, but because LSU, I feel, has at least played in some bigger games already this season. And so I'm going to say that I think LSU, I know they beat a bad Florida team as well, but I think they're a little bit more ready than what I saw out of Ole Miss kind of scraping by against Kentucky and Arkansas, which are games they should have won by 20 points. And I get it's the SEC. I get it's tough. I get the quarterback situation. I get all of that. I'm just trying to give you a friendly win here. That I'm wrong on all my picks, so I'm picking LSU to help you out here. All right, let's go. Another huge SEC game on Saturday, 6:30. Georgia, Alabama, always a huge matchup. A little bit different with no Nick Saban there. Alabama does get the win last year, though. I felt that was a bit more Kirby Smart trying to play Nick Saban and not play Kalen DeBoer, and just didn't look like the right game plan to me. I think that's fixed this year. But Georgia's offense, Gunnar Stockton hasn't looked, really great. Can Alabama fix all of their problems from Florida State, come on the road to Georgia? Georgia's a 3.5-point favorite, Matt. What do you like in this one?
So it's complicated for me. I really, really like this Georgia team a lot. I will even respectfully disagree with you about Gunnar Stockton. I think he's been pretty good. 70%, almost 71% passing, 4 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. I thought he played really tough against Tennessee as well. But until Georgia gets over the Bama hump, which they haven't beaten Alabama since they played in the national championship and beat them in the national championship, which I think was 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I got to take Bama. I just until they get Georgia out of their head, or until Georgia gets Alabama out of their head, rather. I can't have any faith in it, and I don't feel great about it. But I'm taking Bama plus 3.5.
This is a tough one. It's a very tough one. Bama and Georgia, because it is the rivalry back and forth, and Bama's owned it for so long. But again, I think last year's was a fluke. Last year seemed like Kirby Smart just wasn't ready for a different offense, and he just game playing like he always does for Alabama. And I don't know why, but it just I don't know why Kirby Smart would have not prepared for what he was coming. It just didn't feel like he was prepared correctly for it. And as much as I'm not on the Gunnar Stockton bandwagon of being a great quarterback, I think he can win games for Georgia. I think he does enough of what they need from him. And this is at Georgia. So I'm taking Bama to cover.
Okay.
I think Georgia wins. I think Bama covers the 3.5. That's the reality. I think Georgia still wins this game, but they probably win by a field goal. It is a back and forth affair, night game. You get all the fireworks in it, and so I'll say Bama covers on that one.
Okay.
All right. Another huge game, number 3 versus number 6 in the Big Ten. We get to see them both play real competition, see what they look like. Oregon versus Penn State. What do you like in this one? Penn State favored by 3. Once again, the home team favored.
So there's a couple of factors that go into this one for me as well. The game being at Penn State at night with a whiteout, I think is going to be incredibly intimidating for Oregon. It's one of the best environments and the toughest environments in all of college football to play. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
That being said, I really, really like Dan Lanning. Dante Moore has been absolutely unbelievable so far this season through 4 games. If John Mateer is not the Heisman favorite anymore because of the injury, it's probably Dante Moore. 74.7% completions. He's almost thrown for 1,000 yards already. He has 11 touchdowns. 195.9 quarterback rating. I still don't believe in Drew Aller. I don't believe in James Franklin in a big game. I am taking Oregon plus 3.5. They may not win, but they're going to cover.
All right. Matt's taking Oregon plus 3.5 versus Penn State. Another tough matchup. Penn State, we just don't know what this team is, right? Drew Aller's got experience. And in Oregon, for whatever reason, I don't know why Dan Lanning doesn't get this reputation yet. But James Franklin, everybody's like, he can't win the big one. Dan Lanning also feels like he's come up short for the amount of money they're spending, the rosters they have. He's never really been in the conversation down at the end of the season, right? So, he's in it where they're good, and then they get in the playoffs and they lose. And they don't play enough teams, and there's not – I just, their big opponent was Boise State, sometimes you get that. I'm not sold on this Oregon team being able to win a lot of big games. I know the 3.5 is a bigger number that I like to cover here. I think that Oregon's probably a more talented team than Penn State, but I'm going to go with the home field advantage here. And I got to pick some different than Matt to try and come back in this. We're going with Penn State. Penn State is here for this pick. Let's head over to the NFL, Matt, real quick and make a couple of our picks over there. This weekend, there is an undefeated team that's playing a team that you think could be in the Super Bowl. Colts versus Rams, 3:05 on Fox. Colts 3-0, still not favored, but Rams only a 3.5-point favorite. I think we would have been pretty surprised at 3.5-point favorite on this one for the Rams. This is a Indiana Jones. Sorry, he's not Danny Dimes anymore. He's Indiana Jones. Is he able to continue his run against a Rams team who's looked good at times, but maybe not fully there yet? Maybe still working some stuff out. What do you got? Colts at the Rams. Rams favored by 3.5.
I think the Rams are super pissed off that they blew that game to Philly that they think they should have won. I think that the Colts are due to come back down to earth. In terms of the quarterbacks that the Colts have faced, it's been Tua, who was terrible in that game. He beat Bo Nix, and he beat Cam Ward. That's not impressive to me. I think they deserve the credit for getting to 3-0, and that's why they rose so far in our power rankings. But I think the Rams end the dream of an undefeated season for the Colts right now, and they win this game and they cover. So I'm taking the Rams -3.5. Give me Matthew Stafford over Indiana Jones every single day of the week. Book it.
Colts are continuing to succeed at anything they do. They don't punt the ball. One punt this season, Matt. One punt this season. Rams punt the ball all the time. All the time, Matt, they punt the ball. It feels like almost 4 or 5 times a game. Punting the ball, the Rams. One time for the Colts. I do think they punt the ball probably more than once in this game for the Colts. I do think they're going to be in this game. I could see this being a field goal game. I could see this coming down. The Rams have not really been able to get separation on anybody in this season so far. But you know what? I can't with the Colts. I can't pretend like I believe in this team yet. So I'm going with the Rams to cover 3.5 at home as well, Matt. I can't pretend that I believe in them. And finally, our bonus pick, probably the game of the week this week, between 1-2 teams. But this is a big-time matchup, even if they're both 1-2, 325 on CBS. Ravens, -2.5 at the Chiefs. We've heard Xavier Worthy, full participant. Chiefs maybe getting their wide receiver back, maybe getting a little bit healthier, maybe feeling a little bit better. The Ravens have got to figure out how to stop bleeding points on the defense. What do you like in this matchup?
Very much like the Rams. I think the Ravens are super pissed off about what happened with the Lions. You saw Derrick Henry fall all over himself on the bench. This offense cannot be stopped. They just can't stop anybody on defense. Whereas the Chiefs, their offense has been abysmal. Even with Xavier Worthy in the Chargers game, granted he got knocked out early. They've struggled, and I don't think they can run the football particularly well. I think Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the NFL, but I'm taking the Ravens +2.5. I just think that they really want this one and they need it badly, and I think they're going to get it.
Ravens -2.5. -2.5 Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens -2.5. Sorry.
Go with the Ravens there. They do need the game, but so do the Chiefs. 1-2 as well. Patrick Mahomes getting Xavier Worthy back in the lineup, helping him out. And the Chiefs have been bad differently than the Ravens. The Chiefs' offense hasn't really been working. The defense has not been as good as it's been, but they've only allowed 20 points to the Eagles. They allowed 27 to the Chargers week 1. They allowed 9 points to the Giants in week 3. Defense is still pretty there. The offense just hasn't been able to put up the points, right? 17 in week 2, 21 in week 1. I think against this Ravens team that is bleeding points on defense, like just awful defensively, the Chiefs get going offensively. And if they get going offensively, their defense is good enough to slow them down. Derrick Henry, 4th fumble of the season, gives the Chiefs the game. And the Chiefs win this one. So there's our picks. We're changing. We're pretty different on these. We've only agreed on 2. So we'll see. All right, we've only agreed on 1, I think. No, 2. We agreed on 2. We both have Bama. We both have the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But on Friday night, you have TCU. I have Arizona State. Or sorry, you have Arizona State. I have TCU. Sorry. Then LSU. I have LSU. You have Ole Miss. I have Penn State. You have Oregon. I have Rams. You have Rams. I have Chiefs. You have Ravens. So lots of push there for you. A lot of different games. We'll see how we come out. We've been pretty similar in most of our picks. And it is not. Look, they're not going away. So the LSU one is my gift to you, Matt, for having a fun weekend, because I am going to be able to give you that one. David Houston says Oregon wins. It feels like Oregon should win this game. It feels 100% like Oregon should win this game. But again, it's one of those weird places of like Penn State. If Penn State wasn't as good as they are, like we know what they can do. I feel like there's a thing in Penn State with the whiteouts that they're going to be able to control the clock. Maybe slow down Dante Moore a little bit more. He's been playing really well. I think that they have a shot in that one. Yes, and Tay Travis Magic Vomit will be there as long as Travis Kelce doesn't try and take out Xavier Worthy again, because his fiance was raving about Xavier Worthy. He had to go take him out, show him who's boss for a couple of games.
Patrick, this is either your week to make a major comeback,
or it's just
and get yourself back in the conversation, or to get buried in almost an insurmountable lead. So
it's going to be a big one. It is going to be a big one. A couple other games I wanted to hit real quick before we go to the Jerry Jones Hour in college football. That Notre Dame Arkansas game. Is there a chance Arkansas upsets Notre Dame? Notre Dame's only a 4.5-point favorite. It's at Arkansas. We know Arkansas is not really good, but they do have an offense. Is there a chance that Arkansas somehow just completely derails, upends, just destroys Notre Dame's season at 1-3 to start the season? Or is Notre Dame going to figure it out enough here?
Notre Dame's defense gave up 30 points to Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Arkansas.
Arkansas.
I think they win the game. I don't think Notre Dame can stop Taylor Green.
It's going to be a crazy one. I mean, I don't. This Arkansas team is not good yet. I think Taylor Green has a shot to make it a game. This is like a huge game for Notre Dame, and it shouldn't be. But like you have to figure out something, because then you have Boise State, NC State, so you can kind of rebound yourself back. If you win this game, you're 4-2 going to play USC. Like it's reasonable at that point. You have Boston College, Navy, and Pitt after that. So you have games that are winnable. So you're all in where you can, survive and at least have a good season, if not a playoff season for Marcus Freeman. But if you lose to Arkansas, you're starting 1-3. Your season is just like you have that Florida State part where it's like Mike Norvell has this great season and then it completely falls off. And then Marcus Freeman has to sit around and go, well, how the hell do we get back? And how now I got to go try and raise money, and everyone's going to think, one season was a fluke. So that's a crazy part. I know a lot of people are like Joe and rooting for Arkansas to eliminate Notre Dame. I don't get the hatred for Notre Dame not being in a conference. Like I understand why some people, but I don't understand that if every team could be non-conference, every team would. Nobody wants to deal with the conference. Nobody wants to deal with the teams that are either above them or below them. Nobody does. Texas Tech is basically trying to pass a law now, or the guy from Texas Tech, where everybody can go get their own TV rights deals, so that Texas Tech can get a better TV deal and make more money. They want Texas Tech to be able to, they're like, we want to be a major program. So I get that people want to join a conference. Don't join it. Be Notre Dame. Have fun. I don't care. Just schedule good opponents. They schedule enough power opponents. They're going to schedule a ton of SEC opponents because the SEC is going to have that Power 4. So you'll see a lot of that. They're going to play Texas in a couple of years. I'm fine with it. They have the weird cameras on Peacock, so I'm fine.
I'm not. They should. The Texas Tech thing is stupid. You can't survive outside of a conference if you're anybody but Notre Dame.
They want to be in a conference. They just want to be able to get
that. But I get that. That's unreasonable. That's not going to happen ever. I think Notre Dame should join the Big Ten. I don't think they ever will. And they can survive as an independent. There's like 4 teams in college football who could survive as an independent. They're one of them. It's Texas, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and like probably USC. I think those are the only ones that could do it.
I think this is my main factor. If you think Notre Dame is annoying now, put them in the Big Ten, and then come back to me in 3 weeks and tell me, oh my God, they scheduled him nobody. They don't play Ohio State. They don't play Penn State. They don't play Oregon. They play USC, and that's it. That's their only hard game. And then you come back when they don't schedule them anybody, and they just hand them playoff win after playoff after playoff because they want them to stay in the conference. I'm just telling you, if you don't think the Big Ten will tell them schedule FCS schools, don't schedule anybody. Hey, Notre Dame, we need you to be in the. We want to use your brand. We don't care about the validity of college football. All we want is money. We could care less about the game, the kids, or anything involved in it. Please just come to our conference. So that's why. It's one of the big reasons. Is I think Notre Dame in the Big Ten is more annoying than Notre Dame independent.
Should we pick a couple of upset alerts?
Yes.
Before we move on to the Jerry Jones hour?
Yes. Do you have one? I thought you were going to pop
do.
one up.
Okay,
I
think this is a scary one. I Mississippi State and Tennessee. It's at Mississippi State. That those cowbells are going to be ringing. I don't think that they win the game, but Tennessee minus 7.5 feels like a lot. I think this should be closer to like 6.5, 4.5, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think Mississippi State covers.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that one. I don't mind that one at all. I'll give you another upset alert. I think Auburn covers against Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think they cover too. I think Texas A&M wins. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think and a lot more high scoring than people think.
Yeah, that one for me it's 6.5 right now. Especially if it jumps to 7.5, they cover. But Auburn's in these games. They're playing well. I think that they will continue to have their. I think Cam Coleman's going to have a hell of a game against A&M. And so if we say that they're able to go get some points up on A&M will match them. But I will go with. I'll say that one is an upset alert for me for sure.
Okay.
Do you like any other ones there as an upset alert?
Not necessarily as an upset alert, but there's another ranked matchup, USC and Illinois. USC's 4-0. Illinois just got drubbed by Indiana. I think USC moves 5-0, and I think they're a playoff contender. I almost put them in my playoff projection.
They're definitely getting closer to that, for sure. They are getting closer and closer to that one. That's the thing is I think Florida State kills Virginia, and I think USC kills Illinois. I think USC beats Illinois by 90. Like this Illinois team after last week and what Indiana did to them, you're like, it's hard for me to pretend that you're a 6.5 point team versus anybody right now.
Jacoby Lane, the wide receiver for USC, is going to absolutely eat Illinois alive. I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a huge game.
I'll tell you another one that I like. I like Iowa keeping it somewhat close with Indiana. Not like really. It's an 8.5 point spread right now. Indiana looked amazing last week against Illinois. I don't think Iowa could score the points to keep up with them. But I'm curious if if Indiana can get too high on their horse after the big win, go on the road to Iowa and just be like, well, they can't score. And then Iowa just defensively drub them and just slow the game down to where it's field goals and field goals and field goals. I think that's possible. 8.5 just seems high.
Yeah, I would agree. I still don't believe in Indiana. I don't care what they did last week.
That's what I'm saying. I don't fully believe in Indiana. And I could believe that they have the rat poison there too. I could believe in the rat poison.
Yeah, Kurt Cignetti's probably eaten all of it.
All right, let's hit the Jerry Jones hour and get to the Cowboys game since you will be out. The Cowboys play the Packers Sunday Night Football. This is a huge matchup, but the Cowboys do not have CeeDee Lamb for this matchup. They also probably don't have Booker for this matchup, both of them with ankle injuries. So the offensive line is depleted. Your wide receiver is very depleted. How do you compete against this Green Bay team that defense looks insane? They've been able to rush on almost everybody but the Browns. The Browns, it just doesn't matter because they don't have any. You don't know who to target on the Browns. You don't want to hit Joe Flacco. It's elder abuse. So you don't want to, you have to pick and choose what you do. So is there any way the Cowboys, Green Bay is only a 6.5-point favorite. It's at Dallas. It is a Sunday night football game. Green Bay looked unstoppable until they met Myles Garrett and the Browns. But there's like Jordan Love could throw for 500. It's believable to me.
Micah Parsons is going to have 5 sacks. The Cowboys are going to get absolutely obliterated on defense. I think this is a blowout. I don't think it's close. There's no scenario in my mind where the Cowboys can keep this game close. It's going to be like that playoff game a couple years ago where they just got absolutely embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, in the 6.5, you said we were texting before, and you're like, "You want to do the Cowboys game?" And I'm like, "No, we're both taking Green Bay to cover 6.5 with little arguments in there because it does feel like Micah Parsons is coming with a vengeance. The O-line is already beat up. Booker's down. They're gonna how are you double teaming on this line at all?
I think they have a backup center too. I'm not sure that
BB's playing.
BB's playing. I can't remember.
But when we look at all of that, and then we just know that the struggles offensively for Green Bay, I can't imagine are there. The Cowboys defense isn't any good. And in that secondary, this could be the Matthew Golden game. Can we get Matthew Golden? Can we get Matthew Golden going in this game?
I was about to say, I can't wait to see Matthew Golden absolutely burn Trevon Diggs in this game.
Oh,
it's gonna be unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, do you put Diggs on Golden? Like, I can't. Like, how? In good conscience, as a coach, do you not just go, "Hey, let's put someone else"? Trevon Diggs is having a hard enough time right now. Let's put him on someone he might be able to cover thin, the fastest wide receiver in the combine last year. The guy who's burning DBs who can still stay on their feet.
Do you put Deron Bland on him, who's coming back from an injury?
I don't. Put Matt Eberflus on him. Bump him at the line. I don't know. And yeah, free Jaden Blue too. Come on, Cowboys. What are you afraid of? Free Jaden Blue. We all want to see if he's any good. I know Miles Sanders is doing just well enough for you, but free Jaden Blue. We know Javonte Williams is playing great. Imagine if you had another guy who could run the ball. Imagine. Now, this may not be the game to do it if he's not covering in pass pro correctly. It may not be the game to do it.
This ain't the game to do it. Hey, here's your first real NFL game. Go block Micah Parsons in pass pro.
Go block this team that is destroying everybody in front of them. Yeah, that one is tough. Any thoughts on Texans, the Titans, both 0-3 teams? The Texans get it right this week, or has it become a major problem? The Texans are favored by 7.5. It's at home.
I can't in good conscience pick the Texans to cover anything.
I'm not saying cover. Not even saying cover. I'm just saying win the game.
I do think they'll win. I think they'll get their first win of the year. But if they don't, they may start 0-9. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, if they don't,
really
then it's like that becomes a question of how many people do we fire? Mm-hmm. Like I get, like, I like D'Amico Ryans, and I don't like Nick Caserio, but he's done well enough in some things. He's very active. I appreciate his activism, not activism, but actions, I guess. I'm trying to find the right word there. I appreciate that he is active in the trade deadline and he's going for everything. But right now, it is just a problem across the board for the Texans. They didn't really fix the O-line. They kind of shifted things around and got other guys, but not better guys, just other guys. You're like, no, we're supposed to be better, remember? So this is going to be a hard to watch Sunday. Like Sunday at noon is going to be like just laying in bed, just hating life watching this game. That's what I feel like this one is going to be. Not enjoyable Sunday game for this. Any other big games on? Actually, you know what? Let's hit our break. We'll see if we had any other games on the other side, and we will wrap it up and hit our meathead of the day as well as we close out Thursday edition of Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered.
Hi, I'm Dan Covert with my wife Hayden. Welcome to Covert BK.
Our newest location in the gorgeous Hill Country includes Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and hundreds of pre-owned and certified vehicles for you to choose from. We have 3 service departments that are ready to take care of your car, truck, or SUV with 86 service bays to accommodate any repair and get you in and out quickly. Come visit us today to select the vehicle you've been dreaming about.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations, and we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our clients for making the last 37 years both fun and fruitful. If you haven't yet, I'd like to invite you to give us a try for all your home electronics needs. There's no need to leave your home to find great pricing and incomparable service. No traffic, inexperienced sales geeks, or pushy showroom tactics. We come to you. So just relax, hug your kids, and smile. We handle all the work. Just give us a call at 255-8678 or online at avconsultations.com.
Say hello to Jason and the gang over at Relax the Back. They embrace a holistic approach for a healthier lifestyle based on 35 years, folks, of proven expertise, and my back couldn't be happier. Their motto is live wellness, and folks, they can transform your routine, your daily routine, into something very, very special if you have back pain. If you're struggling with thoracic problems, if you've got hip problems, if you've got lumbar problems, please go over to one of their stores. They got 2 great locations, and find out a chair or a recliner or a sofa that's going to fit you and going to make your life a whole lot better. I've got this office chair right here that I've been sitting in for years, and I love it. 2 locations, folks, at the Hill Country Gallery across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the buck and Relax the Back.
SendTexTickets.com. If you're in the market for tickets to any sporting event, any concert, any Broadway show, anything live coming to town, you got to head over to SendTexTickets.com. The best seats to all of the biggest events, not just here in Austin, but all over the state and all over the country as well. It's so easy to use. Just log on your phone or computer to SendTexTickets.com. All of their tickets are 100% guaranteed, and they will be delivered right to your phone or computer. So simple to use, and you're also helping to support a local business every time you shop. SendTexTickets.com. So if you want to be at the biggest events in sports and entertainment, there's only one place to go. It's SendTexTickets.com.
Back here wrapping things up on Open Gym on a Thursday afternoon. Matt will be off tomorrow. We'll have Steven from Fanatic Perspective in, so looking forward to that. And Matt having a good weekend. Big weekend plans, Matt?
Huge weekend plans, actually. Yes, I am going to Dallas to load my girlfriend up into a U-Haul and move her down to Houston and into my apartment. So it's a big weekend for Team Galatzan over here. It's going to be fun.
That is a big step, man. Congratulations on that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Excited about it.
This is something you will not be able to do, Matt. Our meathead of the day is something you will not be able to do once you move the girl in. Is this Eagle security guard? Don't want to get us copyright struck, so I don't know if that song, but just watch the security guard right there as Devontae Smith's wife walks past. And we get the full head turn from Eagles security as that one comes.
And then he runs into somebody at the end. Did you see that?
Somebody because he is staring back at Devontae Smith's wife. If we can pan back to right here, he's still fine. Passes her, and then right there. Red-handed right there. That is the busted moment.
And then watch him bounce off somebody because he can't keep his composure.
This is not what you want to look like if you work for them. And then, not paying attention to what is in front of him, staggering somewhat offline, and immediately now seeing this person and running into them. That is solid work. You cannot do that now, Matt. You got to be smarter than that, okay?
I feel like I'm smarter than that guy. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
One last game. How about the Eagles? Eagles Buccaneers, both 3-0. Someone's got to lose their first game. Philly's favored by 3.5 on the road. Does the push tush win him another one? Tush push.
No Mike Evans for the Bucs. I just don't. Chris Godwin may be back, but I don't think he's going to be ready enough to assume that role quite yet. So I'm going to go with the Eagles to get to 4-0. And I hope A.J. Brown has a big game because I picked him in Fantasy Man, and he has been dog water until last week. So hopefully he continues to have a little bit of a resurgence here. Because like first half of the game last week, he had 0 catches. And I was like, what is happening? What A.J. Brown, where are you? And he finally came back.
He finally came back. Yeah, he's not been used as much. New offensive play caller. maybe not featuring him as much in the offense. We'll see if they can get him open. Astros did get the win 11-5, so stop that skid. Don't get swept by the Athletics. They're a half game out of the wild card right now. Detroit is a half game ahead of them. Detroit's also playing for their pennant against Cleveland right now. They're up 2-0 in that game. That game just started. The Astros need all the help they can get to try and make a playoff, wild card playoff spot. I know Chip Brown's rooting for his Detroit Tigers to get that last spot as well. But we'll see. 3 games left in the season for the Astros. The Rangers also played earlier today as well. All right. We're going to get out of here, but we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, be safe, be kind, keep your underwear clean. We'll see you right back here tomorrow for more from Open Gym.